There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want.
Welcome back to another night of Stick with Koolfrogg. I do have an interesting panel with me right now. There's much more links for other people to come and join us, so we'll see actually who comes in. That being said, I'd like to say hi to everybody before we move too far. Looks like Ish is here. Sheeple Hunter's in the house. T3, good to see you, dear. Glad you came back. Welshman, good to meet you. I'm glad that you're here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm pretty sure that I don't have that mode on quite yet. If you want to continue to talk to us, you're going to have to do so. Let's see here. Tish, hello. Ann Kirk, Alan Walsh. Jessica's on panel. Tiara's on panel. And Short Order Cook. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Hit that like button. And we are here to speak about shadow banning on YouTube. Winning Reality is the one that actually suggested that we do such a thing. I'm hoping that being that this is suggesting that he actually did a bunch of work for me and I didn't have to do it.
Yep, I did.
Nice. So, I mean, you can, I don't know if we can give you the floor for the little bit and we can kind of, spin it off into a conversation as we grow.
Sounds good. Definitely. Well, I wanted to talk about this because it's something that, became very apparent to my channel as it was growing, but it suddenly just bottomed out. You kind of think, whoa, I've made it. It's on the way up and then boom. But, the talk about shadow banning and all the other things that have been going on, you hear all the creators talk about it. It really affects people that are new and have smaller channels that are trying to make that next level break. It really affects them the most, because you have the most to lose. And when you have a small reach, the stuff you're doing doesn't get seen by that many people. And that can have a varying amount of effects on people. But, we're kind of all in the same boat here with this. So I thought it'd be interesting to find out what other people's experiences are with this and what they and what their kind of analytics look like and what kind of ideas and advice they've gotten along the way that we kind of share. And I do have an experience that in my life when I've been able to work with a bunch of people that are in local bands, and by kind of bringing our musical ideas together in the community that we kind of already had going on and just kind of streamlining it, something good came out of it. So I don't think it's the same situation here, but, if we hadn't actually thought about it and I hadn't actually brought up the ideas, nothing would ever happen. But all those bands, they moved up to headliner spots. They were struggling musicians. They went from making hardly anything to $100 a show, which is really good. At least for the time it was. And I believe it's still pretty good for a struggling musician to pull in $100 a gig. So we did a lot of really cool things. And I could go on and on about that, but the real point of that is that, when people come together and they share ideas and they have a like mind and a common goal, good things can come out of it. So it starts with a conversation. It starts by getting to know what's going on and just seeing what's out there and what more experienced people have to say and so on. So I wanted to, if anybody wants to comment on that, sure. But I wanted to first say hello to everybody, and thanks for being here. And then when we're ready, I can share my screen. And I was just going to kind of show you guys what my journey looks like. So this will be really cool for people that haven't kind of seen the behind the scenes before. I know I got to see some of memes stuff today earlier, which is really interesting. He had a really good analytical look at things. So I'm excited that he's here to help add to the conversation tonight. So here we go.
At least when I'm not drinking, right?
No, it was a ton of fun.
Hello, Tish.
Hello.
Continue.
All right. Hold on a second.
Oh, you want to share that
All right.
back room?
Oh yeah, we're good.
Just want to be sure.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We're good. So this is backstage here. This is a studio. First look when you go in, so what you get to see. So the real juice here is over here in the analytics section. And as you can see, gives you like a default 28-day view when you kind of go in. So you can kind of see what's been going on for 28 days. 28 days, not very exciting here. There is something very interesting that's been going on the last 28 days. I got to show you guys. It's humorous, but I want to start by just kind of taking a look at the big picture and then working inward. So you can go into this advanced mode here, and it looks like this. All right, so this is the journey of my channel right here. As you can see, I started really putting stuff out. This is a 90-day view. It's really been about 3 months. Let's see, if I do a year, it's going to look the same. It's just going to be scrunched up, right? So really, about right here is when I got started. And really, this channel sat as an idea for a long time, and it really just had a picture. I made a video of my cat chasing away a raccoon. That was like really the only thing was on here for a very long time. And it's called Snips the Amazing Cat, so please check it out. The teleporting cat, really. Anyways, so then I decided to launch, and then here we go. I'm going to scale it back just a little bit. Let's go 90 days, because really it's about the last 3 months. So as you can see here, things were kind of rolling along. I was putting out a lot of my early stuff, which was like, yeah, I'll do it like this. All right. So a lot of the early stuff was the Epidemic on Display series with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. And then I made a new one of these. The old one I had to put away because I was actually on the video. So, and then everything was kind of going on pretty good. And then we get to right here, and the Crazy Cat Lady Lawyer video was actually my first really good one. It's not great, but it's funny. And so it did really well. I made a little fun video when I first started using LumaFusion for my it's got wrestling days. Thought it'd be pretty funny, so I made it. So anyways, things went along like this, according to plan. Did some unbreaded stuff. This Koolfrogg's favorite song here. And then I got to the big one, right? I found this little gym out there, right? It just came out, and I was like, well, man, I like Mike Tyson and I like Alex Jones. So the two of them together I thought was really cool. It was a great interview. I said, hey, man, because this comes off of over on info, what's it called, band video. I'm going to put it over here because evidently there was some controversy around this video where the hotboxing wouldn't let them put out the interview they did. So this is kind of like the, get even interview, if you will. And it's really good. And it's a lot of fun. And it did great. So as you can see the numbers here.
Doesn't Mike Tyson own the hotboxing? So how could they tell him that that he's not allowed to put up an interview he did?
Well, I wouldn't tell Mike Tyson no, but.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But no, he actually.
Your ear off.
Yeah, right. But he actually has partners, or it's either he has partners or somebody else owns it. He just they just hire him for it. Like he wants to be really hands off. If you listen to his interviews and all that stuff, he just wants to show up, do his thing, and kind of split. So he says he don't got time to mess with all that stuff. Can't blame him. But anyways, so this is like really the launch point, right? So a lot went on right here for the channel, and so that's where we're gonna kind of pick up over here in the big view, right? So if we look at it, we can see that everything went up. I was getting like insane amount of views a day, and insane amount of subscription today. And you can see at my peak, it was like 33,000 in one day. Crazy numbers, right? So, you might get lucky like that and find a video that takes off. I never expected it, but that was pretty cool. Alex Jones has a way of like making my channel
Hey,
pop.
Winning Realty, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you had one that took off like that, so with mine, it's really strange because I've got 1.2 thousand subs, like really fast. I don't even really know where they came from, to be honest. But then the watch time is really low, and the subscriptions are the returning subscriptions are not, or returning views are not very high. I've got one video that's got like 9,000 views, and then ones that have a couple of hundred. So I'm not sure exactly. I'm new to the analytics. I'm not really sure what that means.
Well, maybe you can pull yours up in a little while. We can take a look at it. I think a couple different things when I hear that, but I'm by no means an expert, even though I do analytics like as part of my day job, in a sense. But this is all new to me, so I'm not claiming to be an expert.
A different industry altogether.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I would say that just kind of take a look at where people are kind of from what the videos I've watched and the advice that I've listened to, and when it comes to kind of that scenario, is look where people are kind of leaving, or how long they're staying, what the average watch time is, and kind of look in that area and try to take a look at it and say, is there any reason why people would leave at this point? What can I do differently? Everything's kind of like, from what I understand, everything is like you are, every video is like prepping you for the next one, right? So whatever is done. And you kind of just look at it as, okay, what did I learn?
Yeah, I could probably tell you some more about those sort of analytics if you get a bit more specific. When you get a video that has a lot of views but not a lot of returning viewers, it's because the people are coming for something, they're finding it, and then they're leaving when they're finished, and there's no real reason for them to return. So a good example is you could make a clip. Like if you have a channel that's focused on vlogs, and then you make a clip from a TV show, people are coming to see that clip from the TV show, but they're not interested in your vlog, so there's a complete mismatch in the audience being served and what you're actually trying to create, and that causes these sort of things.
Well, and I kind of tiptoed in and I did some shorts first. So
shorts at the moment are really weird.
Okay, I don't know if that's part of it. I'm just starting to put content up there. I have 4 boxers, and I've got some fluff stuff, but I'm about to put up some other type of things.
Yeah. The thing with shorts is that YouTube is trying to do 2 things. They're trying to take over Twitch's space, the live streaming, and they're trying to take over TikTok space, which is like the short form content, which is what YouTube Shorts is. Now, whenever YouTube implements a new system like Shorts, they heavily favor it. So about a year ago, I think it's about a year or 2 years that Shorts came in. Anyone that was making Shorts was getting thousands of subscribers from Shorts because YouTube was pushing it so hard. Now, the problem is that there's a real disconnect between average watch time on Shorts and actual long form videos. And when you have a short, someone will watch it for 10 seconds, and that could be like 100% or 200% of the watch duration if they watch it twice. But those sort of people want to watch more shorts. They don't want to go from a short to a long video unless the short itself is like a kind of like a trailer, or a teaser that leads into a longer video. So what was happening is that people were getting all these views and all these subscribers from shorts, but then they weren't watching their long videos, and it was damaging their other channels' analytics because YouTube works on, if you come to your channel and then someone leaves straight away, it gives them a signal saying this person isn't keeping people on the platform longer, and that's what YouTube wants. So what YouTube did in the interim, and that's what's happening now, is that any view you get on a short won't actually lead back to your regular channel in the same way. If the person comes back to watch more shorts and you've got more shorts, they're going to see that, but they're not going to see your long videos. If you have 100 shorts on your channel and 1 long video, that person can watch 100 of your shorts, and then when you start going a live stream, when you start a new video that isn't a short, they're not going to see it. It's completely disconnected at the moment. So shorts are useful, but at the moment they're not as good as they used to be, and YouTube just doesn't know what to do with them, essentially.
And I've got to get half and half because, like I said, I was just kind of playing around with it. But I've got some different content I'm about to go into.
You also have to make kind of a sorry, I'm a bit groggy from drinking stream last night, but
You're fine.
there's a sort of There's a very interesting video that my friend sent me, and basically there was a guy that was, I think, doing woodworking videos, and
Okay.
he usually does shorts, but he accidentally made the short 1 minute and 1 second long because YouTube always adds 1 second to your videos. So if you're going to make a short, you have to make sure they're 59 seconds, otherwise they're going to be uploaded as a regular video. But because he accidentally uploaded as a regular video instead of a short, he ended up getting 3 million views on it, and he made like $1,000 because, you know, shorts don't really make any money because they have a different monetization stream to the regular one. So by accidentally adding 1 second to his video, he fooled himself into getting an extra $1,000. So it's kind of like a very virtuous sort of result from that. So if you're trying to make money on YouTube, don't make shorts. If you're trying to just grow a channel with like short form content, that's fine. But you know, you have to kind of make these decisions what you think is going to be better and everything. But it's very interesting actually the way they work.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, I'm in analytics, but a different area. So, but I couldn't quite translate these.
Yeah, I obsess over analytics quite a lot, so I'm into this sort of thing.
I do too.
So my question would be, if you like start uploading YouTube shorts to like build your channel quickly, but then switch to medium content, would YouTube get mad at you for that, or do you think it would be an audience retention problem, or what would your thoughts on that be?
Well, there are people that do this, and the thing with it is, oh, just a second, I just got something that's just come up my screen. I'll just mute it. Okay. The thing with that is that there are people that do this strategy of starting to build just shorts until they get a certain amount of views, and then they switch to long form content. When I say long form content, I don't mean live streams. I mean like 10-minute videos, you know, like just as compared to short form content, which is like, you know, under a minute. What I've heard is that some people will take a strategy where they'll do shorts until they get 10,000 or 100,000 viewers, and then they'll switch, and then they're expecting that maybe 10% of the audience will carry over, which can make sense. I would say what you should do if you want to take that strategy is that make shorts the main focus, but add in, like, you know, every 3 videos, try and add a long form video in, and then check your analytics. And then when you see you have more watch duration time, oh, sorry, I should say total watch hours. When you see you have more total watch hours from your long form content, switch then. That means that your audience has decided that they would rather watch your short form than your long form than your short form. So that would be a way to do that. You don't necessarily get punished for switching, but there are, because they're completely disconnected. But yeah, YouTube's sole focus is, if you think about it as like an entity, is they want you to stay on YouTube as long as possible. So anything that keeps you on the platform longer, and they say happy, like keeping the audience happy, is what they're going to promote the most.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, ultimately, you know, the longer you stay on YouTube, the more ads you watch, the more money everybody makes.
Exactly. But
these are my 2 shorts right here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one for Viva Permanent Vacation, which is my second biggest video, and that's just the cat one I have. But,
right.
You know, you can see, like, you know, hey, look, if you're not getting pushed out there, no matter what format you're using, it doesn't matter, because you're just going to look like this in the end. You know, very
shorts are kind of funny. They'll get like 9,000 views in 20 minutes, and then they'll just get no more views for the rest of the time because they fall out of the algorithm for that.
Yeah.
And the shorts is incredibly competitive. Like, if you think about a regular YouTube video, like a long form 10-minute video, you'll typically get around, you know, like 40% to 50% average watch duration is really good. That means like half the audience is staying for the whole video essentially. And you can check this in your retention, if you go into the, I think it's engagement under audience tab. If you go to audience, audience, and then I think,
well, right now it's going to be skewed out.
Scroll down a bit, or click on a video. Click on one of your videos.
Any of them?
Any video is fine, just not a short, I suppose.
Okay.
But yeah, like a normal video will have, like, you know, 40% view duration or something. Whereas short, if you want a short to be successful, if it doesn't have 200 or 300% watch duration, it's not going to get pushed in the algorithm. And you might say, like, how is it possible that a video can have more than 100% watch duration? It's because rewatches. If someone watches your video twice, you get 200% watch duration. And there's a really sneaky thing you can do with shorts, is if you can make them looping, so that you know, the video just starts again before people realize it's over. They'll watch it like 3 or 4 times before they know what they're doing. And they do this a lot with Minecraft videos. Like, there was a very famous one that got like 600% watch duration and, like, you know, hundreds of millions of views. It's like just a guy that's like mining underground, but then he'll turn a corner, and then when he turns a corner, it re-loops. So you can trick to watch this 3-second video like 10 times before you realize that it's actually just a loop. So you have to do some very competitive things with shorts to actually get any movement there. But I'd say experiment with different types of content. Throw out every type of video from time to time and just see what happens. Sometimes you just get randomly lucky, and it's kind of funny, but like sometimes you get the most benefit from the things you put the least work into. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally, absolutely. One thing I wanted to kind of point out, this is kind of like what I've been watching here, as you can see right now, where the last 28 days is just 99% less, right? 94. Well, just not just the last week. This is all at 99, right? If I go back 90 days, you can see it's below 999% in all three categories. I mean, that's just crazy, right? When you're getting this kind of reach, and then suddenly, I mean, all the videos too, we're getting more views because that one was sprinting.
Just a quick question, and if you don't want to answer, it's fine. But I noticed that you have a lot of subscribers and a lot of watch time, but you're not monetized. Did you just apply, or is it something like that?
Well, the first time I applied, I've
had too much Johnny Depp content or something.
No. Well, who knows, right? I don't know.
But you did apply, but you were denied.
I was denied the first time, but at that time I had this video right here had major copyright claims on it, had 5 or 6, maybe more, and I fought them all off. And the only one that is still trying to fight me, I see it's an appeal, is Loverboy. So if you guys see Loverboy in concert, throw a tomato at him for me. And no, it's really there's the people that run their shop, but vinyl appeals, and then you get another 30 days. So it's been 60 days since I applied.
Yeah, okay, that really sucks.
Yeah.
I feel you.
This one had it too. I got out of that. It just used Ricada's method, and it worked fine. So I got that one got cleared. This one never got copyright claimed, even though it was a lot like this one in a sense that had the same music that got copyright claimed here. Stupid. Then a couple of my live streams did, because I played different trailers. Played one of these, and I played this one. This one just fell off too. So, of course, if I played it right now, we get copyright. But the one that's on my channel isn't. So stop by and check it out. Ricada told me the other night he watched that one. He goes, "Yeah, that's pretty much what would happen." Definitely check that one out.
Yeah, he's pretty cool with that when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. He's in a good amount of my videos. So I would say that my audience is heavily LawTube, and then LawTube solution oriented kind of based people. So that's basically what all it is. It's half entertainment, half information right now, and then I'm just starting to live stream. So when you look at where this was the Viva 5 permanent vacation right here. That was the release. It was 5,000. Viva watched it. He talked about it on his stream. Left the comment pinned up there, highly endorsing it. So it went really well, but then it just died. And this is where it really, really, I figured this one would bring it back from, this would bring things back up, right? Because I didn't do that much between here and there. I did do some stuff, but really, the Viva one took a long time to make. So I was doing a lot of that during this time. And things started tanking, right? So I'm like, what's going on? Well, I'm doing other things, right? Well, there's the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp stuff going on Twitter. I'm battling people over there, putting out content about that. And so I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it was other people. Maybe it was content. Maybe it's just the way that I did things and it turned out this way. So that's why I wanted to bring it up and talk to people about it, because what I'm seeing here looks like, when you're looking at this kind of decrease, it looks very intentional. And not to mention that, remember I told you about the subscriber thing, the last 28 days? Well, last 28 days, first time I came on Koolfrogg, right? It was the first time I live streamed. Okay. And I was still trying to get to 4,000, and I was really close, right? So let's take a look at subscribers real quick. So if I go back 90 days, right? Okay. So one's harder to watch, but here we go. So 52, that's my last biggest day. That was Viva, right? And then right around here, I started noticing them dipping a little bit, right? But I think, when did we first come on? When did I first come on Koolfrogg? I can't remember. I guess I can look at
I'd have to actually look that up to be sure.
July 31st. Okay, so July 31st. So from right here, right? I got 7. There you go. Good day, okay. Right? So from this point on, we were trying to get me to 4,000 that night, right? It was that close. It got to where it was. I think there's a better way to look at this. Right here, I guess. And yeah, so look, go back a little bit more. All right, so 31st. What about here? Yeah, see, okay. I thought it comes in the 90s. It was really close. Okay, there it is, 92. That's the highest the channel's ever been, right? So from August 6th to now, or what is it, 8th? Yeah, somewhere in there. Okay. So there you go, 6. Right, to now, watch this. It's just been going down and up and down. It gets all the way down, right? It goes all the way up. I haven't really been putting out any new videos. I've been just doing live streams and stuff. But the Tyson video itself was pulling hundreds a day at one point, just by itself. And people aren't just like, okay, well, I was, it's like having buyer's remorse or something like that, It was, like, oh man, I had too much to drink last night. I subscribed to this guy's channel just because he had a Mike Tyson on. No, people generally just subscribe and leave it, right?
See, I don't know.
So this is called like auto unsubs, right? So the auto, and I've heard everybody talk about this, right? Auto unsubs, right? So you can see in these last days, like I've still been trying to get to 4,000 since that time, and just keeps going up and down. So I get 3, I lose 3. Get 2, lose 2. Get 5, lose 2, and then lose 3. It's crazy. So you say, hey, is this a naturally occurring thing, or is this rigged? I think we can all agree it's rigged. In fact, I hear the bigger channels even have like hundreds leave a day.
What causes that?
Nobody really knows what the unsub thing is, and like, there is like a degree of sometimes if you're doing like you say, what is your regular content like for streams? Winning reality.
Oh, right now, I've done 3. Yeah, I've done 3, or 4 at this point. So I've been doing a series. I've been doing
the main topic. What do you talk about mostly?
Mostly I talk about this root cause issues and root cause solutions, right? So things that are root cause issues in society.
Stuff that's unrelated to Mike Tyson, basically.
Oh yeah, but not unrelated to Alex Jones. And if you look at the comments on that video, most of the people that are commenting are Alex Jones people. Most of them are, yeah. And then there are all the Alex Jones haters that are the other side of it. But it's not like many people just going like, oh man, I sure love boxing,
Yeah.
But so there is an element that if you live stream, you will lose people that subscribe for short videos. Or like regular videos, because I get that a lot, because my streaming content's almost completely different to the long form content that I make, where I talk about like cinema or just topics that interest me or things like that. It's almost completely different to my regular content. So there is a degree that people subscribe en masse. Like I feel like the best way to get subscribers is to make regular videos, not to live stream, because it's very difficult to gain subscribers as a live streamer, and the content is almost fights against itself. But there is this thing where people do
I know there's 40 people watching right now
against their will, right? Like, so yeah, like I got a message this morning saying that one of my viewers, she might be in chat right now, I'm not sure, but she sent me a message saying like, I'm so mad I missed the live stream last night. I'm subscribed to you, but then I checked, and actually, you know what? She said she unsubscribed from Koolfrogg as well. Let me read the message. Like this is, I think, the first time I've seen this happen to me. She said, hey, I'm so damn pissed right now. I kept missing your live streams, so I went to YouTube and I saw that YouTube had unsubscribed me, even though I'm a paying member. So I have a YouTube channel member. YouTube decided to unsubscribe her.
Whoa.
Can you? And it also says I was unsubbed from Koolfrogg, the expert, and Madcore last week. This is so like sometimes people do accidentally click the unsubscribe button, but to be unsubscribed to 3 or 4 channels that you really like when you're a paying member. That is really suspicious. Like that has to be either like some critical bug, and YouTube claims there is no bug that unsubs people, but everybody's got evidence of it. Like it's ridiculous. And like when you think about it, because this person's paying like a YouTube membership fee, right? So it's like a couple bucks a month or whatever.
Yeah, it should be
the channel perks. But this is something that they're paid for, and YouTube has decided that they shouldn't see the content that they're paying for. It's practically theft, right? Like this is outrageous.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the actual money. So we know that it happens. We don't know why it happens, and YouTube has never claimed that it happens, but it does happen. So it's very suspicious, and it can be hard to figure out whether you're shadow banned or if it's just an algorithm that's making a decision to do various things. But that's the thing, right? Like, it's so hard to prove or disprove or, you know, even come up with the reason why, that it gives them this element of plausible deniability, where there was Amber Heard content was getting views in the millions and millions and millions, and then something happened, a switch flipped, and then suddenly only the, you know, the approved sources were getting views for it. This happened to Ricada. He was getting, you know, upwards of like millions of views on like short form videos. And then it just all went to law and crime. Why? It switched overnight because the media outlets were already unhappy with it. So YouTube does have the ability to throttle content to certain people. Whether they're doing it to your channel is very hard to prove, and it's you know, it's just one of these things that we can never truly know, but we have to kind of just speculate on.
I don't know. I agree with that definitely, but I don't know how deniable it is. I mean, I'm looking at numbers, and you know, if this is a client of mine. You know, I'm telling them that, you know, someone's doing something at this point, because, you know, I'm looking in the system to see, you know, how this is.
Yeah. Like, there are certain topics that are absolutely throttled. Like Amber Heard is one of them. If you talk about Amber Heard, you're almost immediately getting a yellow check. And if you're unmonetized on a video, it has less reach. Like, YouTube doesn't say this, but if they limit ads on it, why would they show it to more people? YouTube wants to make money. They always promote videos that are making more money.
Yeah, definitely. You think so, but why did this one die? Because honestly, it shouldn't die. It shouldn't have died at all. So this, for some reason, this was taken out of the mainstream. I don't know if it's because of the rest of the content, but I mean, Alex Jones covers a wide range of what I was talking about. You know,
well, I mean, I would assume that it would have a larger reach of when it was first relevant, and then as it gets further away from the interview, it's probably going to naturally die down in attention, right? But one of the things that happens is sometimes another it absolutely could be shadow banned, because Alex Jones is one of those. Is it Alex Jones? Yeah, Alex Jones. Alex Jones is one of those topics that's kind of semi-banned from the internet. Like, I think he's still around a few places.
No, he's all over the place. Okay. He does interviews all the time. He's been on Tim Pool multiple times. Okay. Yeah, everywhere. So that's not really the case. And I've already actually gone through appeal on that video, and that's the second version of that video. The first had the hot box and stuff in it, and I was kind of like a little bit more in your face with the title and the description, right? More like, you know, they're trying to silence, so I'm putting it out there, kind of like that. And then that got struck, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna leave it like that, and then I'm gonna redo it, right? So as I was going through appeals and stuff with that, I redid the video. I took the other one out. And that one got struck again, but this time I appealed it. I said, look, I took all the stuff out that you guys don't want out there. He's all over the place right now. He's all over YouTube with millions of views on videos. And hey, look, it's toned down, right? And they said, okay, you're good. So really, they didn't care that it was Alex Jones, or that they were what they were doing in the video. You know,
they say that, but I'm pretty sure there's an effort to get Alex Jones off the internet, and they.
Well, no, look what it did.
Look
what it did, though. Look what it did. This has happened right here.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the decline. I'm talking about the decline.
Oh,
didn't they just come up with something in the last?
It could be with the trial that was coming up.
Yeah, with the trial, but then also, if you've got anything that is what they were calling questionable content, because they said it's going to hit some of the food channels, where they're going to start warnings or knocking them off.
Well, I mean, I think you could maybe talk to Madcore about this, because Madcore became demonetized when he was streaming a Alex Jones trial video, I believe.
Well, yeah, that was because no one was supposed to stream that trial. That's why Ricada and none of those guys did it. They had a deal going on from the bench. Yeah, he just probably didn't know about it, country and stuff. But
yeah,
is that legal? I thought America's had open courts. I thought that was an open court sort of situation.
The judge can make the determination. The judge can make the determination. The judge decided that on.
Okay.
That was that judge's decision, who did all this other wonderful decisions she made. But you think that with all those people, they would still see. Sorry about that. I just want to make one point, and I'll send it back. But I just wanted to wrap that up. I wanted to say, you think with all this and all the people that had subscribed, right? That when I came back and tell you what, just to tell you, if you look at what my subscribers view, right, wherever that home is, that I usually do this on my iPad. I got to think about it for a second.
Well, the video's called Mike Tyson meets Alex Jones, right?
Yeah, that's the one. And there's definitely some copies out there.
This is interesting because when I search for that, you're the number one result.
Sweet.
Like that, so that's really good.
That's
Like
good.
because one thing
Yeah.
when we do an analysis to see if your video has been shadow banned, one thing you have to look at is first like the average watch time duration and then the click through rate. Because if a YouTube video has like I said, like above 40% watch duration, that means that YouTube basically thinks it's a good video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the click through rate is the next one. Like that's like how many people are clicking it. So for every 100 people, is 5% clicking this video. 5% is actually a pretty good click through rate, right? But the thing is, if you look at these analytics and you say, okay, I've got a 60% watch duration and a 10% click through rate, that would be like an excellent video on YouTube. Like that's going to go in the millions probably. But nobody's clicking it. It can be very confusing. And then the first thing you have to think about is maybe there's a video that's better than mine. So, like, is there someone that has 70% watch duration and they have 15% click through rate because they're always going to get more videos than you? But when I search for your video, it's the number one result. 362,000 views, winning reality. Mike Tyson meets Alex Jones for the first time. So that's good first. So we know that it is showing up in search results and it is the number one result. So people should be getting a lot of clicks on it. Now I'm going to go to your channel. I'm going to have a look at the trending stats. It might be good also to do a Google Trends search for it as well to see if the interest in the topic is dying down globally or just on the platform.
Really quick side note, Meme Copium, not to put you on blast or anything, but are you
go ahead.
subscribed to Winning Reality? Because that would also affect the results.
I'm not subscribed to him, but I'm going to subscribe now.
That's interesting though, because with you not being subscribed and just randomly searching that's on top. That's a really good sign.
Well, I mean, I tried to do it a little bit different as well. Like I know the video was called Mike Tyson meets Alex Jones for the first time, so I just typed in Mike Tyson meets Alex Jones. So that's the first thing I typed in. So let's see if I type.
That's one of the key search results.
Mike Tyson, Alex Jones by itself. Let's see what comes up. So when I
Just a
search
really
for
quick-
Mike Tyson, Alex Jones, it's not the first though.
Just a really quick going back to what we were saying about Americans having open courts. We do in the sense that you're allowed to show up in the courtroom unimpeded. The judges have the ability to allow things to be streamed on the internet or not, and what outlets are allowed to stream them and not. So it's a little messy when it comes to that sort of thing.
So, like, one of the things I see when I log in, at least my iPad, is like my audience is like, what else watch? Like almost every single one of the selections is a Viva Fry video. So like, even with that many subscribers, it's crazy that, most of them watch Viva Fry as well. So that's pretty good, right? So you think like the Viva video would have taken off, it would have kept going. It would be like, he has 500,000 subscribers. So that you think that video would have been like, doing really well, but it just died one day. That's the crazy part about it. You can see it. It just goes.
There's nothing on
like,
Google.
Couldn't
Trends
fly.
When I
The
just
wings
put in
didn't
Mike
work.
Tyson, you came up, and I'm not. Well, I'm subscribed to you now, but I wasn't 5 seconds ago. So when I put in Mike Tyson, you came up first.
Oh, cool.
It could just be the subject, like getting up to 300,000 views on a video is pretty good. Like it's no small feat, right? But a lot of videos can sometimes just rest at that place. It may just be that the topic is interest in the topic is waning, like after the distance from the interview.
Well, that's crazy. I had a little pop like about a week ago where things got to like the 200s again. Like 'cause my numbers, like these numbers, right, were like, I don't know why I can't do anything right now. But these numbers were strange. I don't know why it's doing this comparison thing. I must have rigged. That doesn't work. Anyways, these numbers were like in the thousands a day, all stacked, like not 1 hour of the day of the week where it's not occupied, and then it just went. Now it's down to like the lowest I've seen very, very. So it's like, it seems like at least with. I guess there's like maybe a lot of content watchers, not many live stream watchers.
Global interest in Mike Tyson is up from. Did you say the video came in June?
Yeah.
So interest in Mike Tyson since June has doubled, but it is in a slump from say April. Did something happen in April with Mike Tyson? Was he like? What was happening?
No, April's when he did the hot boxing interview with Alex Jones, and then.
Oh, okay. So that's when interest peaked on April.
Yeah, because it was
where it's
kind
ranked
of
as 100.
controversial. YouTube said no, and they went to hotboxing and said, "Don't do this." So,
And then it
they were talking about
declined
it.
sharply from April to May, and then it was kind of low in June, and it's just doubled recently. So it's like on Google Trends, it was at 100. 100 is like the strongest it can be on that in interest over time, and then it's up to 50 now. So just recently, you might get some more information. I mean, it might pop off again.
Right.
But since it's
Well, I
an
mean,
older
I've heard
video-
about the phenomenon when you have one video that, just does its thing and it doesn't apply to anything else you're doing, right? But in this case, the Alex Jones part of it and the kind of things to talk about, you talk about subversion, talk about
There's a really weird peak on
establishment,
Alex
anti-establishment
Jones as well.
topics.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm
in
kind of right
June-
in there. Go ahead.
August 6th, there was like a really big spike in Alex. That must have been the trial date, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. And then it dropped down, and now it's really interest in Alex Jones is really low at the moment, but it was really high in August.
Yeah, see, there's August right there, August 6th.
yeah.
That's the day I came on, and we did I did that one talking about the past, like where I had actually found the people. It's a different story, but anyways, I had a video on Alex Jones that day, first live stream. A lot of
It's
content.
interesting that that it peaked on August 6th, the interest in Alex Jones, because I just did a quick Google, and it looks like August 4th was when the verdict came down. So kind of weird how it kind of peaked after the trial and then dropped down.
Do you use Google Trends at all? When in reality?
But yeah, see, this is the week when it just popped up again. Yeah, like a little bit, like right there. Yeah, I don't use Google for this YouTube yet. I didn't figure obviously big enough yet to worry about that stuff.
So I'll share my screen in a second. Hold on a
Okay,
sec.
I can stop sharing.
Share my screen. Screen 2.
I hope everybody's finding this interesting. Just trying to figure things out. We'll get the.
All right. Sharing my screen now. Oops, sorry. I'll get that off the back. All right. So you can see this is Google Trends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the red is Mike Tyson's interest, and blue is Alex Jones's interest. So you can see how it like goes throughout if you've never used Google Trends before, this is what it looks like. You can type in different search terms, and it's actually very useful. And you can find out similar search terms and where people are watching for things globally and things like that. So like a lot of there's a breakout rising interest in Mike Tyson plain video. I don't know what that is. Mike Tyson was beaten first by which boxer, those sort of things. And you can see like the interest in red was Mike Tyson peaked here, which is April, sorry. And then it dipped down. Then Alex Jones picked up here, and now it's dipped down. And now they're kind of getting a little bit more information, but it looks like it's on a downtrend, specifically last thing there. So
Yeah, he was recently in the news again for.
yeah. And you can add all sorts of comparisons and see if there's any sort of like correlation and things. So it can be very useful for finding out these sort of things. Like, let's see if we compare it to anime. Let's see, anime is doing a lot better than Mike Tyson.
Oh my god!
I just threw that in there because I thought there'd be no correlation whatsoever. I didn't realize how powerful. Jesus, I got to start making videos about anime. Look at that. It's always at a solid 80 to 90%. Jesus.
Wow.
Weeaboos. They're responsible for everything. All right, shop. I'm not sharing it anymore. There you go.
My son loves it, and he loves Japan too. If he knew I was talking to somebody from Japan right now, he would be like freaking.
Yeah,
out.
I live in Japan. Yeah, it's pretty nice over here. It's a bit hot.
He wants to live there one day.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Maybe not live there, but forever. But it's great to come over and do a year or two over here.
Mm. Yep.
Yep.
So what have you heard about the topics of like shadow banning? Is topic central? Is there like you fall into a trap? Is it like a spam trap where you email the wrong address and suddenly you're on a list across the country on every network?
Well,
how is that? How is that?
Shadow banning. Well, I mean, for people in chat maybe don't know, but shadow banning is when you essentially receive a ban, but you're still able to use a platform, and they don't tell you about it. So a good example is on a forum. So if you receive on forums, you'll post like Reddit or whatever, you'll post a comment, and then people can reply to a comment. If you're shadow banned, you can still post the comment, and you can see the comment, but nobody else can see it. So you think that nobody cares about your opinion, or that you just did a really bad post or something, and they do this as kind of it's like a soft way of banning people that's really it's quite pernicious, right? Because it demoralizes the person that is shadow banned. Like they get completely just like, oh, I guess nobody likes me. It's fine, I guess, So it's a very sneaky thing to do. So in YouTube's context, shadow banning would be uploading a video and then nobody sees it. It doesn't get any reach, or the people that you're subscribed to won't see it. Now, the thing with YouTube is they do a really sneaky thing with this. Like, the subscription thing isn't actually that useful anymore. Like, that's why people always say, like, subscribe and ring the bell, because the subscription doesn't actually send all your subscriptions to everybody. YouTube will only serve the content that they think you're going to watch. So that's going to be based on what you sort of watch. Like, if I watch anime videos all day, and then there's a Nick Recator stream on, I'm subscribed to Nick Recator, but I'm not subscribed to anime, I'm going to get recommended anime videos because YouTube thinks that that's what I'm going to watch over Nick Recator. It's all about, you know, getting the thing that YouTube wants you. And it's funny because they serve you what they think you'll watch, not what you want to watch. So it can be really frustrating in that respect.
Is that why sometimes you are subscribed and you do have the notification on, but then you don't get anything on it?
If you have notifications on, you're supposed to receive every single notification. If you don't get that, the one thing, then that means that YouTube is doing something like either there's some fuckery about, or they are shadow banning you, or that person has exceeded their 3 notifications a day. So YouTube gives you 3 notifications a day for every channel. So if you post more than 3 videos, or you do 1 community post, 1 video, and 1 short, you only get 3 notifications. So if you do 4 videos in one day, the 4th one will never go out to your subscribers.
Because I never get notifications for Koolfrogg, ever. I have to go in.
Did you have notifications turned on?
I do. Oh.
Maybe just check to see if you have all your notifications turned on. Sometimes they do change it though. So that's why sometimes it's good to put your streams into like subscriber only mode, because it reminds people that they're unsubscribed.
It's black.
But even this morning when I was on your show, Meme, you know, you tried doing the search for last night's episode, and it took you a while. You're like, why can I never see Koolfrogg's channel? Because this channel, since day one, has been pretty much the way I feel, has been shadow banned. Why? Because they don't like the content that I actually have on here. They don't like all the stuff that I do. They don't like, you know, flags like that behind me or whatever. They don't care about that. They're like, oh, he's somebody that we need to actually. He's on the other side of the political spectrum that we don't like them. And they have tendency to run into that issue more often than you'd like to think, where my stuff doesn't get viewed. I get so many people that are continuously telling me they get unsubbed, or, you know, they never get notifications for anything that I ever do. And it's just like every single time there's no notifications.
So what would be the difference between, say, you and somebody like Joe? Because Joe has the flag behind him, and sometimes he gets into similar content.
The Recator rub.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, I usually end up getting notified for all of Koolfrogg's videos, like at least on my phone.
Yeah,
well, like I think with Joe, the difference is that he is so he streams just before Nick, and his when you look in the analytics, you can see who your other people watch. Because I would wager that if you looked at Joe's analytics, the #1 videos and the #1 channel that his watchers also watch is Recator's streams. So people that are anticipating a Recator stream will come on and they'll spend hours on the platform, and they'll also watch Joe while, like, the warm-up show, right? So because of their average viewing habits, like their habit is that they log onto the platform every day and they watch an entire 4-hour live stream or whatever by Nick. They also watch Joe's, so that YouTube's going to say, okay, these people are going to stay on the platform for a very long time. We'll send out all the notifications for this. So that's like a kind of...
It always seems like it's Koolfrogg, and then it's Law Patrol Hayden that I have to kind of go to launch it. And I know I'm subscribed, like members of a couple of them, or I've had to re-sign up lately too. So I don't know. It's
also weird. A little bit of a, like, the virtuous circle, right? The more successful you are, the more successful you become.
Yeah.
Because you know, obviously larger channels get more they get more stuff on YouTube. Like Joe gets a lot of money, like he gets a lot of watches, he gets a lot of donations, he earns YouTube a lot of money. They're going to push his content more. I think that when Koolfrogg gets up to 1,000 subscribers and he gets, like, monetized, and he starts bringing in more money for YouTube, because YouTube is making money on his content right now. This is the thing, you can't get monetized to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, but YouTube puts ads on your content before you get monetized. So YouTube is making money, but not very much. But the more profitable you become, the more they will promote you, because they want to make money. They're a business, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not very fair, you know. And
I've got the subscribers right now. I just don't have the watch hours.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's either one or the other.
Oh, yeah,
when you're
it's either
growing.
one or the other.
But as you grow, you grow faster. It's like a
having
snowball.
the opposite side of the content that I actually, because I produce these long format, sometimes 6-7 hours,
Hours, yeah.
hours, so you usually don't get too many people that are doing a rewatch on it. I have no problem with watch hours. Watch hours, I have more than enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
But
if you want to, you need to do some
today
more.
I finally hit 550. So it's like every day I see a little bit of growth. You see like 2 or 3 people go and sub to me, in a day or whatever. And it's dependent on what we actually produce for content that night or whatever. Where some of them are like, oh, never mind. I don't want to listen to this guy because he says, let's go Brandon. Or he has any, the political stance is opposite of what they actually prefer us to actually do. You guys see this? Sinbad says I'm freaking out a bit.
This is who I was talking about.
Unsubscribed from the expert 3 times in 20 hours. I just subbed again 10 minutes ago, checked again just now, 8 minutes later, and was unsubbed again.
Yeah, and Sinbad was like, so she is a YouTube member on me, so she is paying for something, paying for
But she's not getting it.
the benefits, and she wasn't getting it. Yeah, YouTube is actually doing these things. Now, I'm sure if you contacted YouTube about this, they'd say, oh, this is clearly a bug. But it's interesting how the bug keeps happening to certain people. A little bit interesting. A little bit interesting.
Certain people in certain
I've been
channels too.
unsubscribed.
Yeah.
I've been unsubscribed from Expert 3 times. The weirdest thing I ever saw was on a Ricada stream I was watching. One of the mods came in and said, hey, I got unsubscribed while watching your video. I'm a mod and a paid subscriber. Like, what's going on?
That's really weird for a moderator to do that.
Well, but that to his point, I'm a mod on Hayden's channel, and I've gotten unsubscribed, and the notifications not given on that one too.
Mm-hmm.
So that has happened.
What's really interesting to me is that YouTube commenters also, it's not just channels that get shadow banned, it's also YouTube commenters. So like on my stream, I usually have the stream chat on screen, and that's because I can watch the video while I also read my stream chat without looking at my other monitor, and also it's so I can check to see whose comments are showing up in chat. I've had 2 people, so Beaver Unit, who's a mod for a bunch of people in LordTube, and Gene as well, who I believe is also a mod in a bunch of channels. They were watching my stream, and because they could see the chat on screen, they'd post a message and it wasn't coming up. So YouTube commenters also get shadow banned. So sometimes you'll post a message in chat, and then your comment will just be decided that YouTube doesn't think other people should see it.
Yeah.
And
or could it be if you're on multiple? So sometimes I have 4 streams going at once.
well, it's not necessarily that. I think what's happened is sometimes YouTube will flag your comment as like as a spam comment or something. Like if you use a bunch of emojis, that can happen. But sometimes they just, for whatever reason, they just decide that no, this person's comment isn't worthy of showing up in chat for other people to see. And the thing is, that's not what we want. We don't want them to do that. They're like, oh, we're just doing this for your own good, right? But we didn't ask for that, and we have our own chat rules. So we just want them to stay away and don't do that. Just don't suppress things.
Stay away and stay out of
if someone's spamming in chat, then I can deal with that myself. I don't need YouTube to deal with it.
Well, and as an example, like I was watching the expert, I was watching one of his streams one night, and it was during the Alex Jones trial, and he was talking about it, and it would not let me send through the name Alex Jones. Like I ended up having to use the accent E to get it to go through. It was just completely blacklisted the name Alex Jones at that time.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like people keep saying that Alex Jones is okay to be on YouTube, but then you have things like this. It's a so I'm not convinced. I'm pretty sure there are some topics that are they're suppressed topics, and that doesn't mean there's not an audience for them. So I would say that conservative topics are suppressed, but there is a large amount of conservatives on YouTube that want to watch content, so they'll be served certain types of content, like Ricada's channels, for example, get served to a lot of conservative people, and that can actually have some very beneficial effects as well as negatives. Like, for example, during the 2020 election, I guess the Trump campaign, was it Trump? Yeah, 2020. Yeah, during the 2020 election, Trump campaign was spending a lot of money on YouTube advertisements, but those ads have to go to some channel. But whose channel are they going to go to? If you're watching, like, if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, you don't want to see Trump ads on YouTube. That's going to make you angry, and it might make you click off the channel. So YouTube will serve these ads to only channels they consider to be conservative channels. And then Ricada was getting a large amount of these ads being served on his channel, and it brought in a massive influx of, kind of older Americans, like the 50-plus range. And these are people that are actually a very monetizable group of viewers because they're very generous. They've got like this extra income, disposable, free time and money. And his channel grew a lot during that time, and he made a lot of money from advertising. Like his CPM went up way big in the thing because there's only a certain amount of these channels, the conservative channels, that can serve this content that the ads would be served on. And he got the entire benefit from that. It's an incredible thing, right?
I laughed because you said older, 50 and up. So.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I know.
that's the reality.
Because I was like, well, I just turned 50, so I guess I'm officially older now. So.
Well, I mean, older than the TikTokers, right?
Correct.
Like you're probably not watching a lot of TikTok.
Well, I have a granddaughter that does anime on TikTok, and she's kind of exploded. So, yeah. So.
Well, it's okay. You can decide her. It's fine.
I watch hers, and I've got 10 grandkids, and 6 of them are on TikTok. So that's all.
You got like a serious Georgia accent, Georgia Florida accent going on there.
I do.
Yeah, where are you from? If you want to disclose, I love accents. I always try to guess them. But.
Where do you think?
Well, I said I was like, I think you're South Georgia. You sound like South Georgia, North Florida, or Alabama.
Just quickly before we get sidetracked, I'll just say that like one thing is that if they know to serve these conservative ads on conservative platforms, that means that they know inherently what channel is a conservative platform and which isn't, and that means that they can choose at any time to suppress or increase certain things, right?
Yeah.
Because they have very smart AIs.
A perfect example of suppressing a channel. You had Nick Ricada during the Johnny Depp stream getting what he was up to, almost 100,000 views.
Yeah.
More than lawn crime. And if you looked up Johnny Depp trial live coverage, the first page or two would be lawn crime, CNN, all these news networks that basically they were paying for these positions.
They paid for the trusted source status, which YouTube denies is a thing, but it is absolutely a thing.
Oh, yeah, and I saw someone earlier. Yeah. Someone earlier, I was lurking in the chat earlier. Someone asked about they can't strike court coverage. They tried that with Nick. Lawn crime tried to strike him 2 or 3 times during the coverage because from what I understand, and I might get this wrong a little bit, when you have a court case that's being live broadcasted, like the Depp trial, you have one company that's kind of brought in.
It's a shared pool, so that there's like at the beginning of the trial, the court will decide which group of people is going to broadcast it, and everyone has to share it, at least in that court case. And it was law and crime at this time. They got their cameras and things, so they said it's our cameras, and we're the one that's like sending it out to all these other feeds. That means that we should have exclusive right to it, and they were mistaken.
They were dead wrong in that.
They were dead wrong.
But you can't just go with I'm a journalist. No, it doesn't work like that. Well, it's up to the judge's discretion.
Yeah, You're right though. There was like a day where it went from anybody could get like 1,000 subscribers or like 100,000 like watches or something, and then just one day a switch flipped, and then it was only trusted media sources, Law and Crime, Guardian, Sky News, those sort of people that were getting all the views.
I was watching Legal Vices the other day. Do you realize Legal Vices I think he has close to 100,000 subs or something. He's got a pretty big number.
Legal Vices is about 25,000.
25,000. But he's only been on 3 months.
Oh yeah. He blew up during the trial.
Yeah, we started me and him started at the same time actually. Around the same time. He gets a lawyer. He's a wall tube. He got folded with Nick and those guys. Like I said, the Ricada rub is the real thing. It's a great thing. Yeah. Rising tide raises all ships. That's another reason, for the panel tonight is to talk about, what is there a way to signal boost between in a small community? There absolutely is. Yeah. All right. I knew Meme was the guy to bring on. I heard you on Legal Mindset the other night. man, he would be awesome to have on the channel.
No, the Ricada rub is absolutely true. In fact, that's largely in part why my channel is monetized now, and that's because I saw an opportunity, and I took it, and I knew that it would work in my favor, and it just did. Basically, what happened is I was watching a Ricada stream. So this channel had like no subscribers. I was watching a Ricada stream, and the Dr. Kevorkian thing came up. I think it was. And like they said something about it, and I was like, "Oh shit, that'd be really good content." And I quickly made a YouTube short, and then I shared it to Nick, and he watched it, and I got 20,000 views on that video immediately because he had like 30,000 people in the channel or whatever at that time watching live, and then I think that video got 1 million things. So I literally got like 1,000 subscribers, not 1,000, but like it was like a good 600 subscribers instantly, and a bunch of watch time. So. And then I was like, okay, so I know that a lot of people that YouTube works like this. Like if you get 1,000 impressions, if you get 1,000 views on a video, they're going to give you 7 times that in impressions next week. So that means 1,000 views, you get 7,000 impressions. And then if you have like a 10% click-through rate, that means you're going to get 700 extra views. So that's why it's really important to have like a good thumbnail and, good content as well. But the thumbnail's almost the most important thing. But I figured that, okay, so this means that next week I'm going to get 7,000 impressions from Ricada's audience. So I'm going to make content that is tangential, like is related to the Johnny Depp trial and related to Ricada law. And that means I'm going to get a good thing. And the next one I made was about, I think it was how much money the YouTube lawyers were making on YouTube. And then that's something that people are really interested in. There's a lot of super chats going around, and that got like a ton of views. And I was like, oh, great. Okay, I can.
So what's the difference between Ricada and Tug? I don't watch Ricada a lot. But what's the difference as far as them getting? Ricada got kicked off, but Umbrella Guy has not gotten kicked off.
Well, Ricada got kicked off because he's being targeted by a bunch of people a bunch of groomers essentially. They're attacking his channel right now, and they're mass flag reporting him. And YouTube has an automated report system that, like, if you have enough flags on a channel, regardless of what you're actually doing, they'll like temporarily ban you, and then they'll have to be.
What happened was Nick interviewed the guy who owned Kiwi Farms. I don't know if you know what Kiwi Farms is, Tish. It's a message board base that's very toxic. It's they go after anybody. Yeah. And then a few days later, he has a guy named Duncan McLeod on who supports supposedly this. This I don't know if you call transition person on. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you want to boil this down really quickly, the main difference between Tug and Ricada is that Ricada, he didn't attack, but he criticized some people that are very bad in the transsexual community, and they got really angry and they started reporting him for anything they could find. They'll watch hours of his live streams looking for anything that they could report on, and then they'll report to YouTube with timestamps, and then if enough go through, you get a ban. I don't think Tug has made any content in that sort of field.
No,
it's not related to Amber Heard.
The most he's gotten is the Amber Heard bot team after him. The Amber Heard PR machine been after him. Whatever what they call bot Sentinel, right? Those guys,
Bot Sentinel,
and then her girlfriend Eve Barlow, and this little club they had going on Twitter that would go after like Tug and Yellow Flash and all this cat.
Tug specifically deals with entertainment news. Nick just deals with. Nick will jump from both entertainment and hard news.
Well, and Tug also talks in code a lot. Like,
he started calling her AH when he started getting flagged. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because the AI is literally crawling your video looking for words like Amber Heard.
Ian Copium, do you agree with Nick when it's that the bot only really watches the first 2 hours of a stream, and then
that is very true. I've experimented with this myself, and I've actually figured out a fairly good way of getting around the YouTube bot. So, my streams almost always go to yellow checkmark immediately, like in the first minute, even if I don't say anything. So I immediately review them, but that's fine because not many people get served ads anyway. It's actually probably better if I just turn off all the ads on the live streams whatsoever, because I don't actually make any revenue from them. But yeah, what I do is I talk about, for 10-15 minutes, I talk about a completely safe topic, like typically Japanese food or funny news from Japan. And then I go into my topic, and then I'll save all the spicy words for 2 hours. Because yes, if you can say any word as long as it's not illegal or it's not like violent content, like you can't show people getting executed, after 2 hours. But any words you can say after 2 hours absolutely works. Absolutely works. I've got many of my streams, practically all my streams monetized in review from using this method of giving like a 10-minute softball topic at the beginning and then saving all the naughty words for 2 hours. And it works almost every time.
That's a great strategy. Absolutely. I heard another one too recently that was, I think maybe even Divinity Said brought it up. It talked about not turning it on until afterwards.
Legal Voice has talked to me about this as well. He said he recommended that to me, and I think he said it was from Divinity's advice actually. So
yeah, Divinity and Fair and Balance give the same advice about not turning on the ads until after the live stream is ended.
Yeah.
So what is that? So people who watch it again can get the ads, but people who are there for the live stuff.
Yeah, that's because there's different detection algorithms for content ID and for I guess naughty words between the short videos. Like 10-minute videos and like live streams. And anyone that streams will know this is if you try and watch some content like some music on a live stream, it's detected in like 2 seconds, and it's like it might actually just block your stream immediately if it's like 2-3 seconds of content. But if you're making like an actual like video, you can have like 10-15 seconds of music and it won't flag it as a copyright claim. So they do have different algorithms. Interestingly, the algorithm apparently switches if your video gets too long. So if you make like a 4-hour YouTube video, regular one, it uses the live stream algorithm. So it gets harder to make review videos if you're doing like really long ones.
Also, earlier tonight, we were on a Madcore stream, and like it popped up. We were watching Karen videos, and it popped up. You're getting warned for content ID.
Yeah, that's because there's like these content farm channels like Lad Bible or just things that people that like they'll like basically monetize viral content. You ever had this where you upload something on Facebook and it gets like 1,000 views or something, and then you get like Lad Bible contact you like, hey, we want to make your video into a Lad Bible video. You have to give us the monetization rights to it though, and then they'll register it on the content ID so it comes up and it can only be watched on their channels, or they get all the revenue from it.
I'll never forget. I wonder how I would love to see Tug's numbers compared to before he got mentioned in the court case and after. Because I was watching it, and when Elaine mentioned the Umbrella Guy, I couldn't even get the name right. I started laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
Just think, you getting named in the biggest lawsuit of the decade. That's just the holy grail, the creme brulee of fucking advertising.
I think she said something like that umbrella.
No,
she said that.
She said the umbrella guy.
The umbrella man, yes.
Or something. Which shows how much research they actually did. But anyway.
Elaine is not the sharpest tool in this shit. I don't think.
And someone said that Tug is just rehashing this just to keep in the algorithm. Someone said in the chat that he's just rehashing it all to keep in the algorithm. They haven't stopped attacking him since the end of the.
No, they haven't. And I can tell you, he does not live that far from me. And actually, I have my granddaughters knows him, and what he's talking about them coming after his kids and calling his work and all of that stuff. That's absolutely true.
Well, that's what. Have y'all ever heard of Kiwi Farms Ken Jennings?
Yes.
Ken's counseling couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on. He used to be on Nick a lot. He got fired because someone found out. It was during the what was that little girl who there was video of her in the back of her dad's truck screaming.
I know who you're talking about. I just don't know them by name.
He followed that case, and they went after Ken, and they doxed him, got him fired. And he got a new job just like in an instant.
I have an idea of how much money Tug's making on YouTube, but frankly, since they tried to destroy his life and they're going after the livelihood of his family and his children, he should milk it for every single cent so that he can put his kids through a good college and he doesn't have to worry about being canceled because
that's what
he's been putting in work for years and he deserves every cent.
Yeah.
It's like what Nick did. Remember when Ron Toy would email him and just text him back and all the time.
Those are so funny. Ron's evasions are so funny.
He would just say, "Dude, I'm just making money off of you. Keep it coming." Nick,
and he pretty much says the same thing. Yeah.
The thing with Nick, he knows how to take all this and monetize it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's what people hate.
Yeah. And that's kind of the benefit of a small town too, because you tend to know more people than say near where I live, near Nashville. That would be completely
Thank you,
different.
Sophie Long. Yes, I remember now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. Turned out that was all. I think that turned out to be all fake. Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, and Tug's also not doing just Amber Heard content as much anymore as he was. He's also doing the Marilyn Manson thing as well.
And he's doing basically TV shows coming out. Ring of Power, House of Dragons.
Is he doing Ring of Power too?
I think I saw one. He does a show now on Friday nights called Not Flashcast. And I think it was about. That's what I've been
check
doing.
that out. I'm doing some content on Ring of Powers as well, so it might interest me.
I just
Such
watched
a bad
the
show.
third
Such a bad
episode,
show.
so I'll be doing.
Oh yeah,
doing a
It's
show.
so bad. It's so
It
bad.
is. They
Here's
turned
a
it
map.
Oh,
They turned
Here's
in
a-
Celia Dore into a whiny teenage bitch. They turned the High
is-
King of
Oh,
Gondor
they
into a whiny little bitch.
What was that
Oh, the Ring of
subplot
Power.
with his
The only
sister
Ring of
going to
Power is the
college
one,
or
the Baldo,
something?
man. The
Hold on,
Baldo.
I couldn't
God,
understand
this is
that
so
meme. What would you ask me?
I said like that. What was the subplot with Isildur's sister going to college or something? It seems like completely pointless to be in the story. I was just like, what is this? What is going on here?
There's a lot of storylines that could maybe be addressed later, or just kind of pushed to the side. Like if that's Gandalf, if that is Gandalf, I'm going to explode.
They can't legally. I don't think they have the rights to Gandalf. They're not going to mention his name for the entire series, in my opinion.
Well, they don't have the rights to the Silmarillions, but they mentioned it last episode.
Well, yeah, I think what they're going to do is they're just not going to name him, and they just let the audience decide that he's Gandalf. That way they can have their cake and eat it too without paying for the thing.
Yeah.
Here's a map to where Sauron's lair is, but it was so lost in the library.
Well,
it's a page from Sauron's diary of what is going to happen if Morgoth dies. Oh, well, let's just put this in the library and not read it. Maybe this will be useful to someone. It's so bad. Galadriel's so insufferable. She's like a prisoner. He's like, I'm going to break my way out of here. Like, what? She's like yelling at the king and queens and stuff. Oh my god.
Just because she's an elf. And the people of Numenor are kind of dicks, aren't they?
I don't know, like the way Galadriel was treating the Numenorians, I think they were right to ban all the elves from their city. I think the Numenor did nothing wrong.
I mean, elves have always been a little stuck up anyway. So.
I hate how they're trying to be so sneaky with their, like, the guy was like in the blurred background is like, oh, is this Sauron? And it's no, we already know who Sauron is. It's so funny. Like, I mean, if you haven't picked it up already, Sauron has been in the show since episode 1.
Oh yeah,
but he's in disguise.
Well, and then I forget the elf name, but the one that can has extraordinary senses, knows what's going on, is on the freaking raft with probably Sauron, and she didn't realize it. What?
Yeah, Halbrand is absolutely going to be Sauron.
Okay.
That's why he's looking at those forges all lovingly, and he's like, "Oh, I'm thinking about those rings."
One thing I did like. I liked Durin.
Durin is surprisingly. Durin and Disa are actually really good characters, and they got a lot of hate, right? But
I think it was
unironically, I really like Disa.
Yeah,
I think she's great.
I think it's really more Dwarf Society. We're getting to see Khazad-dûm at its height. You know, we've only seen it after it's been basically destroyed. And I'm wondering if what they do in Rings of Power is going to lead to the fall of Khazad-dûm.
I mean, possibly. Possibly.
Hey, Meme, I was wondering, did we get to wrap up when we were talking about what can we do? We got on the solution track there.
Right.
And now we're on the road to Gandor or something. But it's,
well, if you're worried about being or shadow banning, or if you're worried about your audience not being able to find you, you should absolutely have an off-platform way they can contact you, whether it be email, Twitter, Discord, something like that. That's the first thing. Is that you should, if you have an audience that likes you, make sure they have 1 or 2 ways to find you if you disappear. For example, Sinbad said she was banned from my channel. She sent me a message on Discord to tell me about it, right? And what I do is I'll post in my Discord I'm going live, or I'll post on Twitter I'm going live. That's one way to beat the algorithm, is that if they're suppressing you and you're still getting organic growth from an outside source, that does a lot. So sharing on Twitter and then actually people following that Twitter link is a great way. Then also, having a group of people that doing similar content. Like YouTube loves it when channels collaborate and they're all doing similar content around the same thing. So, try and find people in your niche that are doing what you're doing and, show up on their shows or do collaboration videos with them and then, get a support network essentially. And then, of course, it does really help if there's like a big hitter in your space. That can also share out your content as well. That is the fastest way to grow, is to be basically lifted up by someone else that's in your sector.
Yeah, the rising tide.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out how I even found Koolfrogg at all, and I don't really remember.
Koolfrogg found me.
Yeah, Koolfrogg found me.
I was
too.
alone and in the dark.
Yeah, no.
He reached his hand out.
If you ever get pissed at me, you know who to blame. Blame Frog.
Yeah, I think I found Divinity first. Maybe I don't know.
Well, I would.
I don't remember.
I was live tweeting during the depth trial, and I guess somehow, and some of those tweets were I was getting like 200 or 300 interactions, which is more than I've ever gotten. I know that's not much, but for me, that was a lot, big thing. And he messaged me, "Hey, you're pretty funny. You want to come on my show?" So blame Frog if you ever get pissed at me.
The other thing,
you regret it every day, don't you, Frog?
I'm not your keeper.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I found Frog when he was creating his channel at first, he was just sending links out to everyone, and I was on a Good Logic server, and so was he. So he just was like, "Hey, I'm making a channel. Why don't you come watch?"
Nice.
And refused to join me for a good several months before I actually finally sort of became something. And he's like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Hey, I like to give new creators a couple months to actually get in the swing of things. I don't like to judge people who are.
Well, yeah, because you get a lot of them that start channels, think that they're going to actually get somewhere, they're going to make something of themselves, and they catch that algorithm that doesn't push their content, and they get very against doing anything more because they're like, "Well, I'm not going to get anywhere. Never mind," and they give up. Yeah. And that's the one thing that I was trying to not do, was actually be that person that just gave up.
Yeah, because your law of numbers plays in after a while. Just because the longer you stay at it, the more likely.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got 44 concurrent viewers right now. Probably when the algorithm does its thing, by the end of the show, it'll probably put you at like 200-300 views. So,
I've definitely seen you grow since I've started hanging around. I've seen the progress for sure.
Yeah. In the last few months, it's really actually changed a lot.
Good.
That's what it is. A lot of it's paying dues, man. Go, bro.
Because I remember, seeing you on the expert stream, and we were trying to get you to like 100 subscribers so you could get your custom URL, and then within 2 months, you went from 100 to like, what are you above 500 now?
I'm at 549. It seems as somebody decided to actually unsubscribe tonight because their comments weren't being left. I get it. I understand. Sometimes things happen. You can always just hit the sub button because it doesn't hurt. It's really painless.
Yeah, not at all. Hopefully everybody's subbed to each other. I try to sub to whoever I hang out.
Because I forgot to. There we go.
I do that first, or I'll forget.
Yeah, you can do that
when I first come in. Because by the time it's about.
That's the one thing I was going to bring up tonight. It's like, let's all make sure we all subscribe to each other's channels. Give everybody here a signal boost tonight, including
as far as everybody else goes, because they have to actually, if they want to say anything at all, they do have to sub, because I have subscriber mode on. If you haven't subbed to everybody else that's here, you actually check that description line. I believe I have to actually add somebody. I do. I have to add Nerd. You'll see that I put ats in there for every single one of us.
Yeah, and I've got everybody now.
Right.
So,
and
everybody should just sub to everybody.
Chat. The links will keep going in the chat all night.
It won't show me Winning Reality's channel. That's annoying. I'll have to find it.
I think Sinbad also mentioned it, but never mind. Go on.
Hit the description line, TR.
Yeah.
If you hadn't seen it in chat. Jessica's playing, top mod like she always does, and she's
yes, thank you so much.
Everybody's links in there, so she
Jessica, can you post me a winning reality link like right now so I can click on it?
Well, at least I did finally get the custom URL
So
now.
demanding.
Like
I
tonight.
said please.
Well, he was in the next drop anyways. I'm gonna drop it right
Aw.
now.
Right meow.
Yeah, at least I got that far.
Divinity says modding is kind of gay.
It can be depending on who you're modding for. So
Super gay.
Yeah, I guess just making sure we
Oh, that's weird.
always
So,
signal boost everybody in that way, and also announcing, even like announcing streams for people, or we all share Discord, so that's really cool that people are cool about letting people drop their stream links in, and that's always a great way to help too.
it turns out I was already subscribed to Winning Reality, but when I typed it into the YouTube search bar, the channel just didn't pop up. It popped up with like 3 other channels that also have Winning Reality. One has 13 subscribers, one has 1 video, and one has 40 subscribers, and yet it just doesn't show your channel. That's friggin' weird.
Well, that's an issue of size and SEO things. Like if you have a very unique name, it's better to show up in things like nobody else is, you're not competing with anyone else. But then also your certain size will raise your SEO ranks as well. So like I said, it can be very unfair for new channels because it seems so hard to grow. And that's the hardest thing on YouTube is getting those first set of eyes. And then once you start growing, then you can get more eyes, and it becomes like, it's a snowball. But it's very rough for beginning channels. Very,
for sure.
very rough.
And I was saying earlier, it's like the music business. Like when musicians, right? You have to pay your dues. And I realize, even though I'm bringing this to the table and saying, hey, let's talk about it, 'cause, there also is a lot of dues paying going on. I see Koolfrogg's been hitting this for a long time, paying his dues. Ricada paid his dues. There is dues paying going on. There's always going to be that way, and that's the way the music business is as well. So I totally get that part, absolutely. But the whole thing is that in the music business, you're competing against the big industry people, right? The popular ones, the ones that get all the radio time and all the advertising and all the marketing, and a lot of them just stepped out of nowhere, and they throw this great band behind them and this great producer behind them, and all this money because they got the look and they got this voice they can work with, right? So we have to compete with that in music, and so that's part of the thing that we did. We were able to take a group of really talented musicians that could do any of those jobs that are out there on the big time level, and be able to raise them up in a local level, and it was just as good as being national. Actually, I haven't been on tour. To have a hometown crowd of thousands that show up to see you is great, So, and you got that all the time, and then you're doing it with friends. It becomes really fun. So the whole, even when you're down and not the big guys, you can still have a lot of fun. And a lot of musicians will tell you as well. Yeah. The best crowd you get is the home crowd. The best scene you have is the home scene. So, we all aspire to be able to do big things. Maybe some of us, maybe not all of us, but at the same time, stop and take a look around and appreciate what we got right now and all the fun, cool things we can do with it, And that's kind of the next part of the thing I wanted to. This is probably the last segment of this part, at least what I had was talking about. Other things that we can do on our own to help build ourselves up, and also what we can do together to have some fun. And I guess I'll start with the fun part and saying that I've been working on this idea. And I've mentioned it to a few people. I don't mind putting it out there. I don't think it makes them steal it from me, but they do. Good for them. But the idea is that we kind of do something fun to kind of boost the signal. And I call this idea signal boost. Obviously, not very creative, right? But it's actually a game show, and here, I'm sure it's out the rough sketch of it, right? So it could be a lot of fun, and if we had to start kind of small and have a lot of fun with it. It's kind of a combination of things I've seen and kind of all put together. Do you see my screen there?
Hold on a second.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, there you go. Just real quick, it's on my Discord. So if anybody's interested in helping put this together, please join my Discord and come on over, and you can be part of this idea, and we'll see where it goes. But basically, it's just like a 4-part kind of game show where you'd have like 4 contestants, and you could just parse them up by genre type or personality type or whatever you want to do, right? You could have a law tube, you could have a this or that or whatever, right? You could just mix it up. So and then they come on, they compete, right? And it'd be a kind of a chat, channel or streamer kind of interaction going on to determine who the winner is, right? And you have like the first round, like trivia, basic stuff, and then content battles, kind of finding the best clips, the best, funniest clips, or we give them a topic, they run out there, and the chat can pick the winners with polls and stuff like that. Treasure hunts, go into different channels, kind of trying to find someone in the chats to do something for you to help you win, or there definitely is a lot of
Also,
things.
it's like an ARG, right? Like that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's a really cool idea.
Cool.
It sounds like a lot of work, but it sounds really cool.
Yeah. So anybody that wants to help with it, interested in being part of it, wants to help me work out the logistics and any other part of it, I'm gonna try to do it myself. But help is always great, and then I'm definitely gonna need help putting it on one day. So if you guys like the idea, that's my idea to kind of boost the signal for everybody and kind of get some fun going on, enjoying what we have. The other part I wanted to say before we hop off this topic was that I also noticed that this kind of slid under the radar. So if you don't want to talk about it, it's totally cool. But I did hear that you have another channel, and that's something I've been thinking about too. Is like, hey, why we're struggling trying to make these cause channels work. The ones with messages that are really important. That we also. I didn't do that. Okay. That we also think about, is there other channels we could start ourselves that would be good. So I'd like to hear your advice on that.
So I have loads of channels. I just am kind of like a serial YouTube channel creator. I make channels, and then I kind of do them as long as they are interesting to me, and then like sometimes they taper off and whatever. So I've got I've got about 7 different YouTube channels of varying success. The best one's about 20,000 subscribers. So the gaming channel that I kind of gave up on. It's got like I got a couple viral videos in that one, it's like 3 million views or something. But I don't do anything on that really anymore. It's just kind of a dead channel. I do have another travel channel where I just do stuff. We kind of joke about it being secret, but it's not secret. If you want to see it, you're welcome to. It's just travel in Japan and sort of thing. But it's just, the thing is like sometimes cross-pollinating audiences doesn't work as well as you'd like. So when I did this channel, I decided that I wasn't going to cross-pollinate in one direction. Like I'll send viewers back to that channel, but I don't send viewers from that channel to this one, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a little experiment that I'm running with myself. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great to have multiple channels, especially when especially if you're talking about spicy topics. You should almost always have a backup channel that people can subscribe to, just in case you get yeeted one day, and then you haven't lost everything. Because
that's
we saw
why
with
I tell
with
everybody to
Madcore,
go over, hit that Rumble channel, because something happens.
Yeah, because we saw, I think, Fair and Balanced got demonetized, Madcore got demonetized, and basically the same time frame, like within a week or two, right? And if they had, I mean, they're smaller channels, so they didn't have time to do this. But if you get large enough that you can like cross-seed your other channels with like 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours and monetize the secondary channel, so that if you get demonetized randomly, then you can instantly jump to the other channel and start live streaming. Of course, it's not going to have the same reach as your original channel, but it's a good backup.
Yeah.
So,
Do any of you guys, besides Koolfrogg, have like locals or anything like that, or like Patreon or something like that?
I don't have locals. I just don't have time to learn the other platforms, right? Like we only have so much time in the day.
Yeah.
I do think that there's benefit to having those other channels, but for me, it's just the time to cost ratio is not there for me.
I do have a Rumble. I don't have locals yet, but I love locals. I really do like it. It's fun. I belong to like 3 different channels over there. But I do have a Rumble.
I was gonna say I subscribe to some over there.
And Discord. I'm trying to find my Rumble. I just actually started a Rumble only project. I'm doing the Unbreaded Chronicles. So what I'm doing is taking all the unbreaded segments and just clipping them out and just taking it step by step, like one by one. I'm just going to put all the unbreaded segments over there, just because
that sounds pretty cool.
I think, somebody tried to do it on YouTube and it got deleted fast. So I was like, well, Rumble seems like a good place. Seems like a good time to do it. My Rumble channel doesn't do shit anyways, and I always thought, hey, it'd be cool to have all of these in one place. Not to mention that there's a long-term project I have in mind about this TV series that I may want to use some of the
Also, Winning Reality, where would I find a link to join your Discord server?
Oh yeah, you get that. Over.
You can put that either in private, or if you want other people whatever. Throw it in chat. Up to you.
I don't think I can.
Or you can throw it in private if you want it. Throw it in the chat. Say something.
Okay.
There's a couple mods around here that can help you out. That being said, real quick, this was actually given to me by Madcore. He says you should watch this video. These are an Aussie tech channel. They're getting bigger and bigger. They actually got shadow banned last year. They go over what actually happened. There is a 5-minute clip here of the timeline of suspicious activity before they go into like a recovery process and other things. Madcore is usually pretty good at actually finding things to go along with, content. So as far as that goes, I think we should probably try watching this 5 minutes and see where it takes us.
Sure.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So here's the full details of what happened, because I'm sure a lot of you are interested. On February 24, so this was Wednesday of last week for us local time, we received this notification to our email account connected to our YouTube channel. Suspicious activity detected, it said. The email itself didn't provide any information, but it did have a link to check account activity. Clicking through lands us on this page. I apologize here for blurring out a ton of information, but of course there is a bit of personal info in here. The key information is that Google believed we had a device with a suspicious app installed. A Windows device was, in fact, Steve's main PC. But as you can see here, there is no information whatsoever on what the suspicious app actually is. All it says is that this device, a device we own and control, performed some suspicious activity from a suspicious app. The timeline below shows all the actions taken after this suspicious app was detected. The basics are that within 5 minutes we changed passwords and re-implemented two-factor authentication. Of course, we always use two-factor, as should everyone. In fact, this whole time we have followed Google and YouTube's recommended processes for account security. The remaining things here are largely additional measures we implemented to strengthen security, but the key point is that all of these actions taken are actions that we took. At no point was any activity detected from anyone other than us that was suspicious. No one else tried to change account passwords or anything like that. The following day, Thursday, February 25, we received a second email, this time from YouTube. It says that our YouTube channel, Hardware Unboxed, may have been targeted in a potential hijacking scam. As a result, YouTube have taken 2 actions. The recent videos, playlists, live streams of your YouTube channel may be hidden from our search and discovery, and payments to your YouTube channel's AdSense.
Okay. Buffer.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's pluses and minuses of living not in a living kind of in the middle of nowhere, and this is one of the minuses.
Maybe he's just getting shadow banned live on air.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, not impossible.
I have wondered about that. Like, it seems like there are certain videos that get different bandwidth, Like some, maybe it's the stream uploader or something, but I thought YouTube converted every video to their own format, so everything should have the same bitrate per video, like if you're watching at 1080p versus, say, 4K or something. But I noticed that certain channels seem to get load slower. I don't know. Maybe it's like confirmation bias, but I have noticed that there's a certain couple of channels that I try to watch, and they just take forever to load their videos for some reason.
Well, I wonder also if it's like different CDNs, right? Just depending on how far away the CDN is, if it's going to buffer or not.
You know what? That makes perfect sense. Because I live in Japan, so it makes sense, right?
Please be respectful to the people that are on my panel. Stop it.
Result of this inaction with immediate effect. Our videos from the past 2 months were hidden from YouTube's search, recommendations, and subscription feeds, so it was pretty clear this email was genuine. Shortly after this occurred, we received another suspicious activity detected alert from Google, same as the last one, same steps and processes for all of that. So we went through and changed passwords again, all of that just to be on the safe side, but there was a period of minutes where if this activity was genuine, someone could have made changes to our account. This didn't appear in the activity feed, so no one had attempted to change passwords and take full control of the account, but we weren't sure if anything else was compromised. The next step for us was checking to make sure nothing on our YouTube channel was altered, in particular that no videos were changed, no one was uploading new videos, example being like scam content, stuff like that, and that no one had changed any of the critical settings in our account. Namely, we needed to check no one had changed our AdSense ID, this would have led to an attacker stealing our ad revenue, and that no one had attempted to add any accounts as managers of our YouTube profile. In both cases, there was no change. Our AdSense ID hadn't been updated since 2015, and there was no new users with access to our account. After performing a few other checks, assessing all the information Google provides in the security center and so on, we were very confident that nothing had been altered and in fact our channel wasn't hijacked, or if someone did gain access, they didn't do anything, didn't try and take control of the channel.
This reminds me of when Kurt got his channel hijacked and had that crypto scam live stream running for a bit until it shut it down.
Oh yeah, that happens quite a bit. I think the way they were doing it is people were like stealing, like spoofing their phone IPs or something to get past two-factor, like with T-Mobile. I think that was a problem in American channels. So I haven't seen it on anyone that I know, but
oh, that makes sense.
Could just be that Kurt was going to a bunch of dodgy websites.
And at this point, that
I'm not
I wouldn't doubt that.
I'm not touching that.
be locked out as we changed passwords quickly. Throughout the entire process, there wasn't a second we didn't have full control of the account recovery process to restore our YouTube channel to full functionality. There are a few concerning things here about the process. Firstly, Google does not provide anywhere near adequate enough information to diagnose an account breach. They do tell us the name of the compromised PC and its geographic location, but there are no details whatsoever about what the suspicious app was or the actions the app took that caused it to be flagged as suspicious. How are we supposed to find the compromised app on our PC if we don't even know what it is or what to look for? Of course, we can run antivirus sweeps, but those came up clear. There was also no apparent log to see the exact actions made.
That's just like YouTube. They tell you, oh, you're flagged, you violated our rules. They don't tell you what you did or how you can fix it. They just want to destroy your.
They do that all the time.
No, they specifically be vague on purpose, because when they ban you for something, if they tell you exactly why, then you can argue that you didn't do what they said. So they always give you something vague, because then you can't exactly say.
Nick was talking the other night about him talking with his YouTube rep. His YouTube rep told him, I don't know what they're doing over there. They keep them. Each part of these companies are so insulated from the others for just this reason. You can't.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
I think it's there's particular people out there that are doing things and actually flagging people, because so when you actually look
that's confirmed. That's confirmed.
No, right.
That Facebook, Instagram, everything, they all work together.
When Madcore caught his, and when I actually caught my last, what they're trying to say is medical disinformation, but the night that was actually in question, there was nothing that was spoke of any sort to go along with that. That one actually the interesting is it's still being reviewed. Supposedly, it never actually made it through the whole review process. They haven't actually told me that they took it away, but they didn't tell me that they actually finished the review on it. I can still show it. I can still show you where it's saying that it's still under review.
I have a video like that. It's like it's over 7 days. It hasn't been reviewed for ad suitability.
I remember
I'm almost going on my 90 days.
Okay, great.
That's up in the I want to say the 15th of this month, where that actually falls off and actually gets given back to me or whatever. I think at that time frame 90 days ago, there was somebody that was messing with more than one channel at a time.
It's like Steven Crowder a few months ago got banned for a few days because one of the hosts quoted the CDC, and they flagged him for medical misinformation. He read verbatim what
I
was
mean,
on
that makes sense though.
their website.
Yeah, it does.
Anything
actually.
the CDC says is disinformation.
Oh.
It was just, and of course he was able to get it thrown off for a few days because he has that Bill Richmond, half Asian lawyer, who's a badass in the courtroom, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I get to deal with them in my day job all the time. It's fun.
On an account after the issue is flagged. We can see.
And even sitting at, I'm going to actually reduce this again. This is going to reduce the quality of the video. I don't really care.
Where the passwords are changed, but we don't have a timeline of every action taken. This would have been very useful to determine if anyone had touched any settings in our YouTube account, for example. All right, let's talk now about the
Do we want to listen to the recovery process? Are we all in interest of
Your call. Nope.
I was gonna say, do what you want to do there.
what caused our account to be flagged? Skip up to this one. Let that buffer out for a few seconds. It seems to be having lots of issues. Let's just not do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, when you're going to sit there and watch a buffer for most of the show,
minutes.
it's not
Yeah.
fun. It makes it boring, not for only for us, but for everybody else as well. I do see that there's 57 people currently watching us. That is
nice.
awesome. Thank you all so much. Don't forget to hit that like button for me.
But you have all these huge companies that pay YouTube and Google millions of dollars for top results. So like even if you put in Fox News, you'll most likely get maybe get the channel for Fox News, but you'll get like all the other news stations before you get a single Fox video. It's just
I don't want to dox this person, but whoever just put the 30 in PayPal for me, thank you so much. I guess that was about a half hour ago. I don't really look at it the whole time, so as far as that goes. Go ahead, you guys.
okay, Westman. You go pay for it then.
What's going on?
He just said it's not that expensive. It's pretty cheap.
What's not expensive and pretty cheap?
What I was talking about, how these companies pay a shit ton of money to be first on the result pages. And
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
right, exactly. I'm a super small channel. You want to help me out, and you want me to actually buy that? I'll go and buy it right now. But I'm going to need you to go and actually support me on the PayPal or the buy me a
Expensive
coffee.
is relative too.
Right. So that way, when it comes down to where the cost is coming from, you can help me out on that, and we can, I'll be excited when we're actually sitting at the top of the algorithm.
I think honestly, YouTube, their algorithm is so batshit crazy. They don't know what they have. They don't know.
Probably not.
They don't know.
Oh, they really don't understand what they have. They don't even understand why it does some of the things it does. They just try to guide it to what they hope it'll do.
Watch, we're gonna have Skynet one day come out of fucking Google or YouTube.
Yeah, but it'll probably shadow box itself.
Memento Mori says platform shoes look goofy on men, but look good on ladies. I agree.
I checked the email real quick on that. Thank you, Tilly. That's awesome. Not to cut any of you guys off. Keep going.
No, you're fine.
I know Nick always says, and bringing him. I hate bringing him up but he's the one who I've heard talk about this kind of stuff most.
It's where all of us pretty much came from when you actually get down to the nitty gritty. I mean, we all kind of watched Nick Rekieta at one point in time. Thought if this guy can do it, why can't I? Vice versa. You know, we've moved ourselves from watching somebody like Nick Rekieta to watching Good Logic. I know a bunch of us actually met each other through Good Logic's server after becoming mods and whatever else, and it pretty much just you watch your initial community grow, and that's where a lot of this growth actually came from. So it's like everybody can always go back and say, well, most likely it came from somebody similar to like a large person like Nick Rekieta.
I think Nick is always a really good example of someone that he's very lucky that he earns as much money as he does, because if he didn't bring in YouTube as much as he does, they would have got rid of him so long ago. The only thing keeping him on the platform is that he's one of the highest earners for a channel of his size, and they're trying to copy his model and apply it to other people. Like I literally am convinced that YouTube is using Nick Rekieta as a basically a test subject, because when the super chatting features came in and started being tracked in 2019, he was in the top 10 globally of most super chatter channels for a very small channel. And YouTube wants that. They want more people super chatting, because that's money that they don't have to get approval from advertisers for. And you can have these channels that have these naughty topics that they still can monetize, and YouTube likes that. And if Rekieta wasn't bringing in the money, like if he's a regular streamer that wasn't getting a bunch of super chats, or what was only like 100 viewers or something, his channel would have been deleted permanently from the channel years ago.
And that's why locals and Rumble want him so bad. I honestly believe that, because in just a few weeks he's going down to Miami. I think isn't that where Locals is headquartered at? I
can never somewhere remember. In Florida.
It's Miami. He's going down there, and it's like Locals all the time. They're asking him, "Hey Nick, what do you think of this?" or "Tell us how this works." He's always basically beta testing the features on their site.
I wish Rumble would take off.
Tonight that said it. I want to say it was Rob with Law Number was saying that they had given him a pretty big deal to come over there and do.
Viva and Barnes.
Yeah.
I think even the Blaze were talking to him for a while. Glenn Beck's TV network. He's saying I'd have to move, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So is Viva going exclusive to Rumble, or is he?
It's exclusive. In the sense that his live streaming is exclusive. Like he does like a 30-minute windup. I actually came from Viva to Rekieta, so I kind of started with him. But he does like a 30-minute warm up on YouTube and brings his audience over to Rumble, which is smart. And he does like his full streams over there, and they do Barnes does a lot of stuff on locals. He's really hanging on the locals part. Big time. He has great shows on locals. I probably catch a lot of them. Hush Hush is awesome. He does Bourbon with Barnes. I
like the Barnes sports picking show.
Yeah, that's kind of a new thing. He says that's good for your mind, like as far as like understanding strategy and stuff. It's just crazy. But he's a smart guy though. He knows what he's talking about.
If Nick were to leave YouTube, he'd take a pay cut by probably almost half, because he explained
which is why they would need to offer him like $10 million for a multi-year contract.
He explained it in a way that yes, he'd be getting more money from locals in the percentage wise, but he wouldn't be getting those perks and that money that comes from advertising that YouTube has. If I remember,
he was talking about that the other day. It was a legal mindset.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
He explained it really well.
Yeah, he was saying that on the back end, so he says he only puts in the layover ads. He doesn't put pre-roll or mid-roll or post-roll ads. And he says on an average stream, he makes between $400 and $700 just in the ad revenue, and that's not counting super chats. So when he's going over to Rumble, he says he's making almost comparable money in super chats, but it's that $400 to $700 a stream that he's just completely missing out. Rumble's only giving him like $6.50.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a big,
So
big cut.
because
Oh.
it's the stuff that we're actually kind of speaking of or whatever, here, check this out. This person actually just subscribed to me. They now have 3 subscribers because I subscribed to them. They've been doing stuff for only 2 months. Looks like they've actually got some decent shorter 3, 4, 5-minute clips, a couple 10-second, 11-second ones in there.
It looks like a good variety too. I saw
a
Nick,
variety of different
the
stuff.
Baron.
But look at how few subscribers she actually has. Says that she, like I said, I just subbed to it, so now it should be 3. But
I've been stuck at 40 for the past month.
Well, I just subscribed to you Outpost earlier, like
I did
an
too.
hour ago.
whoever this person is, I mean, it's very interesting. It says Aurora Ophelia Clips. And it's new person out there trying to do something, trying to find their way through, this YouTube world, and you get, 2 subscribers. Nobody's watching it. I'm just
Buried
saying.
in the algorithm.
Right, exactly. Buried.
Well,
Hard to
one
find.
thing that I say to anyone that thinks about starting a YouTube channel is, all it takes is one video to pop off and to get it started. That's all you need. And I think we were talking a little bit earlier about what can you do to kind of beat the algorithm sort of thing. One of the best things is provide value. Think about what you can provide that people want. Find a product that people like. Videos are products, right? They're like things that you're trying to sell to people. The cost is the time, and the thumbnail and the title is the packaging. What can you sell to your audience that is going to make them happy and want to come back? So try and bring value, and people will start watching.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest problem. I know Nick
Sound
always
like
says,
me in my day job. So
Nick is always saying, if you're going to succeed at YouTube, constantly put out content. That's my biggest problem. I only have time to maybe stream once or twice a week. And one
thing though is streams are very difficult to grow with. Like, it's incredibly difficult to grow with a stream. So I think, maybe find some time to do some clips of your own content, or, put together a short form video, because that's what really brings in subscribers. I think, like, I typically will lose subscribers on live streams, but I'll gain a lot on video views. So, it evens out and I gain, but it's worth keeping in mind.
Yeah, for sure. I actually was trying to figure out what to do next on my channel here. I figured out what to do with Rumble. It's like, what direction am I going to go in next? Trying to take everything into consideration.
If you only have limited time in the day, I would say that probably put the Rumble stuff to the side, or at least just re-upload your content from YouTube, like download it and upload it to Rumble after you're finished. But because YouTube has the biggest
there's stuff I'm not putting on YouTube. It doesn't take me very long. It's easy. You have a format, and it's the same thing kind of over and over again. Yeah. But it's just a different day. So.
Yeah. There is a problem on YouTube, though. YouTube has a problem with stream discovery. Like on Twitch, it's very easy to find Twitch is like a cancerous company, though, so I wouldn't want to stream over there. Maybe I will one day, just for a bit of change or whatever, to see what it's like. But the discovery on YouTube is incredibly difficult.
Everything that's done here is actually,
like
you're on YouTube as well as Twitch at the same time.
That's
it says
true.
There's 10 people that are subscribed over there, but I usually only get like one person that watches.
I mean, if you go to the front page of YouTube, how do you find the live streams? Like, it's really difficult, right? Like, let's go front page.
And click live.
True.
Where is live? I can't actually see it on my thing. Okay, there's a tab up here.
Yeah, it's up. Yeah.
And then who decides what?
But these aren't even actually live. These look like past live streams.
Like the only thing that I get when I get onto live streams is like synthwave, like 24-hour streams of just people playing music. So it's just music streams.
To Tilly.
Good night, Tilly.
I usually look at the subscribers for the red dot. Good, Tilly.
But those are things that you've subscribed to already, right?
Yeah.
Aurora
so how do you find a new one?
That Frog was just showing.
Yeah, lucky.
7 subscribers.
There you go. And that hopefully that will kind of help them out a little bit and actually push them through. To that next level.
I'll go do the same thing.
Yeah, I think basically the only way that the small streamers grow is word of mouth. because you're not getting discovered on the homepage, and you're not getting discovered from the feeds and things. So if you want to grow, you need to really convince your audience to share your stuff out, or like the content, comment on it, do all that good stuff. Otherwise, it's just not going to grow. Unless you have like a viral video pop off, like and then people start watching your stream after that.
Sounds good. No, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah,
I mean,
been
you
very
have like a
helpful,
lot of
actually.
experience, and I appreciate all the wisdom you're bestowing upon us. Good sir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and really, we should keep going. It says that we now have 59 people currently watching us.
Awesome.
I mean, if
Probably
if
one
the
of the
stream
most
keeps to grow,
viewed
may as well
in
keep
a
going.
while. Right.
Yep.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's growing. So if we have other stuff that we would like to, we don't have to talk about this stuff any longer. We can move on. We can talk about other things. We do whatever
Open
we
panel.
want. Right. It
I
is
do
an
have a
open
question. I do have a question for Meme.
Yeah.
So, are you like completely done with the Chris Chan saga now, or do you think if anything else develops in it, you'll go back to talking about him?
I mean, if Chris does something really weird, then sure, I'll talk about it again. I'm not going to do any like focused, like Chris 100% focused stream. I think that part is done. But if
my whole
if,
life
um,
who that guy was.
if another part of the documentary comes out, or if there's a big update, then I'll mention it. But it's unlikely we'll be watching any more documentaries. I mean, we'll watch updates. I'll say it's not going to be like the 2-3 hour streams talking about Christian anymore.
Yeah, I really
was a
liked
fun-
your deep dive into the weird parts of YouTube stream you did. Was that early this week or was that last week?
Probably 2 days ago. I might do another one tonight, actually. There's a lot of content that now that I've seen that people actually like that sort of like the dark YouTube stuff, I'm going to do more about that. There's actually, bear with me here. Bear with me. There's actually a really, really good documentary about the origin of fairies and where they came from on a channel called Down the Rabbit Hole. He talks about a lot of stuff, and it's fascinating to see how their entire subculture grew up and everything.
Weren't
You'd be
fairies
surprised.
like originally like evil, and they would like terrorize children?
They'd steal your children and replace
They do
Steal
them.
your
that now.
children. Yep, steal your children and replace them.
A good example of that in the movie is that Hellboy reboot. It was a good example of actual fairy mythology. A lot of it was based on actual. Well, some of the characters were based very loosely, but there were some aspects it was based on very well done Celtic mythology.
Well, so what do they replace them with? Like cat?
No, they're called changelings. They're like
Mm-hmm.
these fairy creatures made to look like little children. There was a big story about it in Europe or in England about a woman claiming she saw fairies. Oh yeah, they take the fairy folk very seriously over there.
My ex was obsessed with fairies. I said she thinks they're good. That's all I've ever heard about them. This whole changeling thing is new to me.
You're talking
They
about
didn't start out that way.
fairies? Are you talking about fairies or furries?
Fairies.
Fairies are
Okay.
They,
I was
they
talking
might
about
take
I was
both
talking
of them
about
very
I was
seriously.
talking about furries, not fairies.
Ah, okay.
Oh, you said furries. Oh, okay.
Sorry, it must be my accent. I was gonna.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
No, actually, it's really interesting to see like how the animations like and everything began, and how these communities actually you can actually watch the development and the corruption of the entire community. It's incredible to see
Was it
what
on
actually went
your
into it.
show, Frog, that we watched those horse people? Or was that Madcore? I think it was Madcore, actually. Now
No, it was here because it was.
Is that Mr. Hands?
It was Farron that shared it with it.
Yes, and that was fucking crazy.
Some ridiculous stuff. That's for sure.
Did you guys actually think I was talking about fairies? Like,
Well, your accent made me think.
Yeah,
you said
I
pirate.
legitimately thought you said fairies, like the tiny winged.
Like
I
Celtic
went to
mythology.
my mind went to these boats that carry cars and people from one spot
Oh,
to
you mean-
another. across
Oh,
the
so you're talking about a
Fairy.
fairy? That's a fairy. So you have the okay, guys. You have the furries go to the fur
Yes,
cons.
we
The
get it.
fairies go
they're
to
like,
the
they're like
forest,
little wheelies,
and
right?
the fairies
Little
cover you across the river. Okay, it's not hard to understand. It's like people always make like I guess it's the New Zealand accent or whatever.
Yeah, it's your
But, like,
accent that made me misunderstand you.
Whenever I say like pawn shop, apparently Americans always think I'm talking about like pornography.
That's
Are
what it
you
sounds
not?
Friend of mine
to
had
me.
fairs.
You said, yeah.
No, like there's there's porn, and then you go to a pawn shop. They're two different words. It sounds completely different to me. Like I can hear the difference, but apparently no one else can.
I can't.
I
What do you
cannot.
mean?
No. What do you mean?
buy at that kind of shop?
This is I have to deal with this all the time, every damn day.
English.
Sorry,
motherfucker.
with meme. But what do you buy at the shop? If it's
Well,
not
you
adult
can buy porn at the pawn shop, but there's also an adult shop. There's also an adult shop that sells.
the pawn shop. Okay.
Ty says
Give him a break. His
fairy.
queen just died.
Wait, what is this? Fairy,
Fairy,
furry,
fairy,
farrier, furry, wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, wall.
You mean
Apparently, Americans can't hear the difference when I say June and Dune. Like the Dune Sea
I heard the difference there.
and June
Yeah, I heard the
in
difference
the
there for sure.
Yep.
Okay.
So you mean pawn as in PAWN?
Yeah, pawn. PAWN. Pawn.
Pawn shop. Yeah. Okay.
Pawn
We got a pawn around here.
Okay.
Pawn shop.
I
Yeah.
still hear.
Furies and Firies. What? Is that right?
I think they spelled fairies wrong in the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Furies for the Greek and fairies for labyrinth.
Mm.
It's different. Furies and fairies. Yeah.
I love I've had to study. I've had to do shows in different accents. Accents are sometimes hard depending on the accents. It's like I do have a hard time. I think with the New Zealand accent compared to the Australian accent, and if I'm wrong, I'm probably going to catch hell for this. It's the New Zealand accent seems a little softer than the Australian accent.
Yeah. Well, like New Zealand's like, "Where's the car?" and Australians like, "Where's the car?"
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
But my accent is like a mix of Australian and New Zealand, so it's a little bit weird. But no one can seem to pin it down. I always get comments on my channel saying like, "Is this EFAP's Mauler's second channel, or is this Internet Historian's channel?" Like, apparently, I sound like UK people and Australian people, and no one can decide. It's very funny.
Apparently, I sound like Georgia. So that in Florida.
I like the Georgia accent.
Well,
Well, it's anything outside the cities, right? So you said you were like close to Tennessee? I mean, close to Nashville? You're in Tennessee,
I
right?
am. I'm about 30 minutes north. Of
I go up there
I'm-
once a year. We go up there for a soccer tournament every year.
Oh, cool.
I studied singing and acting and voice basically in high school and college. So I had my Southern accent kind of trained out of me because with the Southern accent, we don't control our R's very well.
We do not.
We just basically throw them out of our mouths when we talk. Like get the car, y'all. Get the car.
Yes.
Are they soft or are they hard?
Hard and thrown
Hard.
out.
Hard. Are you saying they're hard R's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shut up.
Except here's the thing.
Yeah, I don't have a.
I don't care
Southern
what
accent.
show you're watching. If they try to do a Southern accent, it is normally a train wreck.
Yeah.
Because it's
But if you ever
Except Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks actually pulls off the Southern accent pretty well, but I think he
you
is.
know where
Southern,
he got
so.
that voice for Forrest Gump from? He got it from the kid playing young Forrest because he had that thick Southern backwoods Mississippi accent. So Tom thought it would be good to learn to talk like him instead of training the kid to talk like Tom.
Makes
So
sense.
Tom, he said he's got cassette tapes somewhere, hundreds of them, of him just talking to the kid, and so he could study it. But when I get angry, like if you ever hear me go Southern, you know you got me generally angry because I'm reverted back to my roots.
Well, and there's a big difference
where you reach from?
between.
I'm from down south. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all I was going to say. There's a difference, though, between West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and East. And especially East, it's a very different, it's a little bit more twang than, say, the
Ding,
Middle.
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah. Like, you don't want to hear them sing I'll Fly Away, which is my grandmother's from there, but west and middle sound very similar to each other.
Who's not deep south? Ty, me, or Tish? I don't know, because I'm about as deep as south as you can get.
That'd be Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really.
I didn't want to tell you where I'm from, but I
why?
just did.
Well, I'm not telling
Definitely
you.
not.
I'm not
deep
telling you
south.
where in Florida.
I thought you were
I had a
from
friend once.
Pensacola.
She called me a Yankee. She's like, "You." She got mad at me for something. I said, "You Yankee," meaning is an insult. I said, "Girl, you are from West Virginia, right there at the Mason-Dixon line. You're about as northern as a southerner can get. Do not call me a Yankee." But like I said, I've had it trained out of me.
Yeah.
I got the East Coast accent, so there's probably a hint of something southern in it, but it's basically just like a beach talk kind of thing.
Are you saying, Ty, is that to me that I'm definitely not deep south, or was that to you?
Nerd. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, that would be accurate. I would say that is deep south. Yeah.
I had to do a British
But
play.
Southern accent goes all the way up to Virginia.
Yeah.
Hey, Ty, you're not answering our question, dude. But I've had.
Wait,
I had
somebody
to
asked me a question.
No, the Ty in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure who he was referring to.
I had to do a British show, and I had a girl come up to me. She's like, "You sounded like you were going in and out of a Texan accent." So for like the next 3 months, I had to learn how to do that. It was fun, but hard work.
Okay, so I'm having a brain fart right now. But there's this YouTuber who has this really thick Scottish accent, right? And he, during the whole Roe v. Wade thing, he was pretending to be a Supreme Court justice.
That's Count
Twitter.
Dankula. Count Dankula.
Count
Oh, yeah, Count
Dankula.
Dankula.
Yeah.
I
was just gonna say,
I'm
like,
glad that I sound something
hilarious.
different than I really am. I'm super surprised. I got Ty saying that I sound like I'm from Kentucky. I'm nowhere near that. I'm from Minnesota, dude.
I hear the little.
From Minnesota.
You said I'm from Minnesota. You had that little.
Yeah, I was
from
gonna say you're not from
Minnesota.
Kentucky.
Minnesota.
I could hear that a little bit, Koolfrogg.
It's straight up. I was born in Minnesota. You can't. There's nothing you can do about taking that out of me.
Minnesota.
Yeah, I know
I'm
enough
Ohio
people from
born and
Kentucky
raised.
that's not his accent is not.
I actually met a guy from like the Midwest, and he had that. Oh, how you doing? Don't you know? And he actually said, "Don't you know?" I'm like, holy crap!
Don't you know?
They say that. I thought it was just in cartoons.
I heard
But I
somebody
was just
say
gonna
it
say,
the other day too, and I was like, wait, that's real.
I was just going to say, Meme, you are 200% more understandable than Count Dankula when he gets angry. So
I don't get angry very often, do I?
I understand.
Sometimes
I get a bit heated.
I had no
If I
problem
get
understanding
angry, I will go
Dankula.
quiet, but it's
Because,
really hard to make me angry.
My best friend growing up, this guy I've known for, I'm 35, probably 27 years. His dad was from Glasgow.
I know what that is.
I would hope so. Everyone knows where Glasgow, Scotland is.
Yeah.
But he had that. He'd been in the States so long. But then when his parents, I met my friend's grandparents who lived there the whole. His accent came out around his parents, and it was like, come again.
My cousin will do that in California because she's from here. She doesn't sound like it until I'm there, and then when I'm there, she sounds more like from Tennessee than I do. So,
I remember I was auditioning for a play, and we were supposed to sing a '90s pop song, and I picked "It's Friday, I'm in Love" by The Cure. The Cure.
The Cure.
Yeah, and they're a British band, and I learned the song by listening to it. So I started singing it, and the director, who was my professor, stopped. He's like, "Okay. This is set in New York, but you sound British, and I don't like it. Sing me something." Like, I screwed up. But, yeah, I mean, my ear, if I hear something, I can pick it up after a while. But
Oh yeah. When I was down in Charlotte, North Carolina, I ended up picking up their accent a little bit, and people started like thinking that I was making fun of them. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. It's just the way my brain works. I'm not meaning to offend. I apologize.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like Mary Poppins. They said people said that's the worst Cockney accent in the history of film. Was Dick Van Dyke as what's his name? Bert. It was the worst Cockney accent ever.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
He's even said it. He's like that was terrible. I shouldn't have done that.
I just want to say meme. I think other than the meme copium channel itself, I think my favorite channel of yours is the silent train rides channel.
Yeah.
I just find it oddly relaxed.
It is actually, right. I wish that would have taken off a bit better because there are some similar channels that are doing that. They get like 40 million views per train ride video, which would have been amazing because that's like $400,000. So that's one thing that I'll probably go back to one day is when I have the free time. I just don't have any time to ride trains at the moment. But there's a lot of cool trains in Japan, like a limited amount of trains.
I've actually never been on a train like that.
Really? Like the sleeper train?
I've been on subways. I've been on subways maybe twice in my life. Once when I was like in 5th grade, and no, we didn't go on one in New York. That's right. The only time I've been on a subway was when I went to DC in high school.
Well, Amtrak here in America.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amtrak here in America is just so dang expensive. Like for like a sleeper train from like Cincinnati, Ohio to DC, which is like a 15-hour ride. It's like $400 for.
Yeah, because they don't get many people doing it anymore, riding trains anymore like that.
It's like it's just genuinely cheaper to hop a flight.
But it'd be so cool. It's like I remember I saw Down South. Remember that movie, The Polar Express?
Mm-hmm.
This train company down in South Florida, they would actually giving train rides and performing like the Hot Chocolate song, turning the train into the Polar Express for kids and families. It was pretty cool. I wish I could.
Oh, that
sounds very wholesome.
It is. It's one of the early motion cap movies. Tom Hanks plays like 4 different characters in it. The 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. It's the kid, Santa. 5.
Oh, I didn't realize Tom Hanks was the kid as well. That's
yeah. He was the kid. He was Santa. He was the dad. He was the bum.
All of them. Wasn't he?
Yeah, he played
all of the characters.
No.
Okay,
no.
I can't remember. I think he was a bunch of them.
But he played all like the big characters plus the dad.
My 5-year-old grandson still watches it over and over and over.
Yeah, who's like I've been here like clicking for like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
One point I'm like,
really into this game. Holy man.
I must be like
I was going to
ACD.
say one of my dogs
like,
left the room, but
I'm always doing like 2 things at one time.
That was early. That was one of the first motion captured movies, and it was insane what they had to do compared to what you have to do now. I mean, now all you got to do is put on the suit and a couple of dots on your face, and then go to basically a big empty room. Of course, it has cameras at every conceivable angle, but so much smaller than what it used to be.
You know, actually, speaking about like other channels and stuff, I think I've got a channel that I've never showed you guys, but it's like just making kind of like sort of ASMR content. But I got a video of me typing on a keyboard for like an hour. It's the same minute repeated 60 times, right? But there's like 60,000 views on it, and people are just like, "Oh, thank you so much for typing on this keyboard." It's so funny.
That's awesome.
People love keyboard sounds, and they're like, there's always so many questions like, "What is he typing? I'm so curious." And I just type in the quick round frogs jumps over lazy dog like a million times.
It's like I used to, one of my favorite shows used to be Castle, that Nathan Fillion detective show. And whenever he'd type, he put This is what he'd type whenever he was sitting at his desk typing up his novel, his castle. He'd always just put, Nathan is the best, Nathan is the best, Nathan is the best. That's all he
That I
typed.
can believe with Nathan. Yeah.
I love him. I've loved him since Firefly. I like the Rookie. I'm so glad when he finally got in the DC movie and they killed him in like the first 5 seconds because he was in the Suicide Squad.
My husband did not believe that was him, and I had to show him where it was. I was like, "That's."
But he's also been in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
He remember in Guardians of the Galaxy when they're in
they're in prison and he's
the alien that group puts his fingers up his nose. Yeah. The alien that group puts his fingers up his nose was Nathan Fillion.
Oh, really?
Hey Harper, you're not kidding. She was saying that Memphis is becoming Tennessee's version of Chicago. It's been a bad week.
Oh yeah. It's been a bad week.
Major cities are becoming like war zones.
And what's complicating it there, and I know I travel to Memphis a lot for my company, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. So
they put you up for hazard pay then.
Yeah, but they that what's making it more problematic is all of the false calls that they're getting. It's a huge number, but they're of course having to go check them out anyway, which is making too much of a stress on the police because they're already understaffed. So they're not getting to things. They're even slower than they are normally because they're getting fake calls like crazy. But where the teacher was found is not very far from the building that I usually work in. But I only go there about once a quarter usually. So.
Well, they had the teacher thing. They had that the guy running around.
The AutoZone shooting.
Yeah,
well, he shot he shot what 4 or 5 people in total.
Yeah,
I think it was five dead and a couple more injured.
Yeah. Well, and where I go though, at least they have it's a false sense, but at least they got the.
Where have you heard that? I've not heard that about Florida. That Florida is supposedly bringing the National Guard to keep their prison staffed.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
I've never heard that because I have friends in the National Guard.
Just a really quick side note. Meme with the passing of Queen Elizabeth. How is the reaction in Japan? I assume it's kind of, we don't really care. That's kind of sad. All right.
I haven't checked out too much of it. Don't think many people care about the Queen that much here. I mean, there is a group of Japanese people that are really into British stuff. They're kind of like, I don't know, Japanese people get really into fetishizing things, not like in a sexual way or anything, but like they make it their entire personality is based off something. Like they get into baseball or they get into anime or they get into manga, whatever it is. So there's a group of people that are really into English stuff. Like I don't know, just the same way that the Americans will get really into anime, there'll be Japanese people that get really into certain like cultures. And so the people that are into UK stuff are really upset at it right now. I was surprised to see how much people are.
Yeah, he said it was signed today. I think I saw like a notification about that on Facebook. It was for a DeSantis news briefing. Maybe that was what it was. I didn't watch it.
I don't know, because is he in Jacksonville? Because I just found.
I think it was. Maybe.
Okay.
I can go on my Facebook and check real quick.
Sorry, I just sent it.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, I just sent it to you. What I found.
But one thing I've noticed over the past year that fucking Florida politicians are based AF. They do not care. DeSantis, Gates, all of them. They just do not care. They're saying what they want, how they feel, and the hell with what other people think.
Well, like Welshman was talking about working as a police officer. My oldest son is a lieutenant with the sheriff's department, and that is bad enough. My husband was a police officer for 32 years, and I would love if my kids would get completely out of it. And he's, not directly impacted, but it's craziness. I mean, and I'm going to be the first one to say that I know a lot of police officers just because of his job, and then my dad's was an attorney, et cetera, et cetera. But there are people that do not need to be on the force, do not need a gun. They actually need to be supervised at all times because they're crazy. But for the most part, a lot of his friends, just try to get home. That's actually why I finally agreed to go out with him, because I wasn't going to date any of the police that we knew. It was just like not going to do it. But I went on a ride along with him, and he can arrest somebody and almost make them like it, because he's very, very nice to them until they get out of hand. Then he'll bring them back in. He's like, okay, we're either going to do it this way or we're going to do it this way, and you get to pick it. So, and usually by the end of it, they were talking up a storm to him. So that's actually how we kind of started dating. It's been a while now, but yeah, I don't want.
Awesome.
If I could get my son can almost. He's 38. He can actually get some type of retirement by 40 with the time he's been in, because it's 20 and out. And I'm really hoping he takes the 20 and out, because it's just
Hopefully.
It's insane. So Kay Harper was saying Nashville is becoming a hellhole, and it's worsened with the mass migration of blue state people. What's interesting about Nashville in particular is they have never elected a Republican mayor. It's always been a Democrat. My father ran as a Democrat. Trust me, he's not a Democrat. But you have to run as a Democrat in Davidson County / Nashville to get elected. But generally, they elect Republican.
I can picture in my head the Nashville skyline, and what was it, a telephone company building? The Batman building, as people.
The Batman building.
As they called it. I went there for a church trip once, and I can still picture that skyline.
I work 2 blocks from there. So
nice. Reminds me of New Year's 2020 when that bomb went off in front of the AT&T building.
Yeah, my best friend is actually on the bomb squad, and he was down there. It was Christmas Day.
Isn't that the one where it's like it has an alarm saying "Stay clear"? He just wanted to blow it up and not really kill anybody. Did they ever find out who did that?
Yeah, he died in the blast. He had worked in the building before and was very concerned about I think it was 4G coming into Nashville. And that building, though, what a lot of people don't know unless you live here or you're in the industry I'm in, that is a very, very important hub for AT&T for banking and for our financial area. So just full disclosure, I work at a pretty large bank, and we were so fortunate it was Christmas Day, because we were working all night to try to get back online and get anything to work. So that building strategically made a lot of sense for him trying to stop it. And they have gotten calls about him before, but the thing about that is it got to where my husband, I would hear them talk about a bomb threat to the building he's in. I'm like, well, do you need to evacuate? Nah, we get those every other minute. So they get so many calls in, it's hard to know what to go with and what not to. But yeah, it's 2nd Avenue is still not back where it was. And it was pretty much the last little independent owned with commercial kind of mixed into it in that area. But yeah, that building was, if you're going to, I don't think anybody realized how much damage he did, in that he did damage to buildings, but he really did damage to our communication structure. So,
didn't he knock out stuff for like all the way over to Georgia and stuff like that?
And cell phones were not working because a lot of the towers, even if you had another service, will ping off their servers. So, but yeah, we literally, I got the call about 30 minutes after that to have to come in and try to get us back up, because we were dead. We had nothing.
I know.
That's just scary. Think how little it will take just to take out our infrastructure.
We can shift everything over to another server that's in another area, but that's not the easiest thing. It sounds quick. It's not. So
it's not, and also you're doubling the load on those other servers,
Correct.
so it's the likelihood
Correct.
of those going down is higher.
Yeah. So it was a long night, almost as long as the one where the Social Security didn't hit anybody's accounts at all, and we had to work overnight to get those. There's a lot of things with that kind of thing people don't even know about. But
which Die Hard movie was that? Was that I think it was Live Free or Die Hard, where the guy goes into the president's office, shows just with a little laptop, a couple clicks of the to prove, because he wanted to take out, he's like bombing stuff to prove that he wasn't crazy. He goes to the president's desk, boom, 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 on his laptop, nearly shuts the whole country down. But
I think we do stress tests every year now, and we've been doing them for the last 5 or 6. The banking industry is in a lot better place since 9/11, because with 9/11, the paper got destroyed, so that slowed all of the money down, which became a major thing. So whether you like electronic payments or not, they do help the money move and not be so paper dependent. But we're in a lot better shape than we were then.
That was the exact reason the towers were targeted, right? Because it was such a huge banking hub. Because they've done that, but
the Bank of New York
Taliban had done that before in other countries, where they take out a center banking, like that's so integral to the country's economy, like the two towers was for us.
Yeah. And the Bank of New York getting hit there, they're not a bank as in like you or I could go in a bank. They're a bank for banks. So like they're a clearinghouse when we run things overseas, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it devastated business because, business couldn't get paid because of what was caught up there. So that's where you ended up with Check 21. Obviously, I've been in the business a while, but it's a lot more secure than what it started out when I started out in it. But unfortunately, we tend to learn it as we go. Right.
And I keep going to movies, but you see examples of these exaggerated though in movies. In GoldenEye, they want to rob. They want. It's exaggerated, of course. It's a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
They want to rob the Bank of England and then use the GoldenEye satellite to wipe all the electrical records of everything. It's just. It's scary.
We have paper retention, so. Even if somebody was able to do that, depending on what you're talking about. So, for example, if you place a wire, we have to keep that physical paper for at least 5 years to 7 years, depending on the bank. So, some of that's funny because I always see where they'll like pay off somebody in a movie and they're saying it's $10,000 and they have a suitcase that's this wide and this thick. And I'm like, hey, $10,000 would fit over here, not the whole thing. But
I love Dodgeball, where they have like $100,000 in a case and it's like really tiny.
That's actually what it looks like. But you would be better off going to rob a Target cash room now than you would a bank because we just don't keep a lot of cash. We know how much we need to function for the week, and we send the rest of it.
I worked at a grocery store, and there was this young woman who started, who she got fired not long after I started, so I didn't work with her long. She'd steal maybe $5 or $10 a day from every till that she counted. So after they finally caught her after a few months, and it was a lot of money after a while.
Yeah,
they told us, they said, if you steal from us, we will perp walk you out the building. And I look over the cash office, and there she is in handcuffs, walking right out with the cops.
Yeah, and some of that's just how much does it cost to take care of that theft versus how much are they stealing. So that's why sometimes it's slow. That's a little bit of what I do. So, somebody's taking $20. We're going to write it off probably. But if you take $20 every day, it's going to flag it really fast.
Well, the biggest mistake I ever made cashiering, it was my first day before Thanksgiving I ever worked. And for like 8 hours, it was just nonstop, people nonstop. And after so long, I was $200 short on the till. And the lady knew I hadn't stolen it.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell.
She looked at me, she says, I still have to write it up. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Well,
But
and usually, I mean, when people tend to steal at the teller line, they tend to do it in the same increments, so it's pretty easy to catch. It's usually even amounts that you can divide by 2, 4, 10, and they think if they do a little bit at a time, but the problem is when they do a little bit at a time, it flags. So, like if I have someone who's out of balance for 30 times in a row, I get a report telling me that. So they tend to do the same things, but
it's like I come in one day and I'm cleaning up
criminals are smart.
I'm straightening up my till, and someone had paid with a $2 bill, and I'd never seen a $2 bill in person. Yeah. And I called my manager over and said, "Hey, can I have this?" He's like, "As long as you put $2 in your till." I was like, "Stay here and watch."
Those. We're like, because you have to have so many to ship back to the Fed, or they won't take them. So they just kind of sit there for a while. And those gold coins that they give out, I can usually tip. Yeah, a lot of people like to come and get those to tip waiters and waiters who turn right back around and bring it right back to us because they don't want them because it's coins. So,
and my parents have a bunch of those gold and silver dollars from like the 40s and 50s, and they're pretty cool to have. But
now we do see bills occasionally that are worth a lot more than people think because of you can tell by the paper it's written on what year it is. So that gets kind of interesting. But
I was going through my change a couple of weeks ago, and I found pennies and nickels and all that from like the 40s and 50s, and all the change I had. So I'm like, I'm just going to
silver dollars, for example, they can be worth a lot depending on what year they were done. Mm-hmm. So
I'll look into my mom and dad's coin to see.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, and a lot of times too, they'll have. So what you can do is if you can go get one of the counterfeit pins, and if it won't mark it at all, and it's an older bill, it is probably worth more than the actual face of the bill because they changed paper. So that's where you know that you have an older bill. And if it's a modern bill that won't strike, obviously that's counterfeit. But if you're looking at something from the 30s and 40s, for example, your counterfeit pin's not going to strike it.
Also, they have the UV strips in the modern bills that are the different colors for the different denominations.
Yeah, and we have machines that'll read that and tell us if it's a counterfeit or not.
But I was just watching today. Yeah. I was watching today Rush Hour, the original Rush Hour, and that was a big counterfeit movie. That was the whole thing. It was a counter, and how like if you burn a real dollar, it burns a certain color because of the ink, and the ones they had which were counterfeit, they burned red because it was a cheaper, less ink. That's just one of my favorite movies.
People think if they have a printer that they can counterfeit a bill. It's hilarious to me. But they'll come in with stuff, and somebody will, send a copy to me. I'm like, okay, you really need me to tell you this isn't
It's like that Larry the Cable Guy joke he had back in the day. He'd like, I'd tip a stripper with Monopoly money. She'd be like, well, this is fake money. He's like, well, those are fake tits.
Copy machines typically won't even let you try to copy currency. No. It'll like just not do it.
No.
The best counterfeit movie of all time was Office Space, by far. Doing fractions of a penny.
I need to watch it. I haven't watched that in like 10, 15 years.
Oh man.
I did have though a restaurant here that's a pretty big restaurant. So people from Tennessee, I'm not going to say which one it was, but they were copying dollar bills and putting their restaurant logo on it to turn around and give to the Metro Police Department as getting free food because they were doing a soft opening. Well, that's illegal to do. So it caused a big thing. So.
Oopsies.
Yeah, it's like defacing or destruction of U.S. currency supply, isn't it?
Thanks for the free lunch, but you can't do this.
Well, Patrick Stewart says he gets people. He would used to get people all the time coming up to him and can we have your autograph? And all they'd have was like $1 bill, and he refused to sign it because he's like, I'm an immigrant. I don't want to get in trouble and deported for defacing American currency.
I think the only thing that you're allowed to deface American currency for is like art projects.
Puppy dog. I got
Yeah.
puppy
Like
dog.
Say hi.
like the coin
kind
crusher
is he?
scenes and
What
stuff
kind
like
is he?
that.
Boxer. I have 4 of them.
Oh, I
It's
had a
just
friend.
one stays up with me.
I had a friend who had a boxer, and he was the biggest dork you ever met.
You guys
This
see
dog
the-
was
you see the puppy?
idiot.
This would not be the house.
We
I
love
lived
puppy
into.
dogs here, Tish.
Yeah. Can you say hi? Oh,
Oh, he's so cute.
yeah, he's only 1, but this would not be the house.
Oh,
I
he's
lived
just a
into.
baby.
Yeah. They're all
Just a baby.
pounds. He's a baby that's 55 pounds, so he's
Mhm.
big. But
I had a Walkweiler Golden Retriever mix. By the time she was like
Nice.
6 months old, she was 50 pounds. Had like paws like half the size of a saucer plate when she was a puppy. And my brother was like, I didn't know she'd get that big. Look at her fucking paws, moron. They were
yeah, his
huge.
name is Loki, and
Loki.
he earns his name, is what I'm gonna say, because he's just a little prankster, but he's the youngest. So
I miss
He doesn't
having a dog, but I had a pit bull for 13 years.
yeah, pit bulls are not too far off of boxers, but I've
And
had a boxer since I was 5. So.
she was the best dog I ever, and she was smart. Tish, this dog was smart. Like she was so muscular and strong, you couldn't spank her like with your hand, because it wouldn't bother her. She'd like you'd hurt your hand, and she'd look at you like, "Can you get the other side? I got an itch back there." It didn't bother her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what we did is we had a lady at Walmart suggest get a bottle of vinegar water, just a little bit of vinegar, like a spoonful of vinegar, and just fill it up, put water in it. And if she was doing something wrong, you sprayed her in the face. And
So the best thing I can tell you
hold on, let me
of
finish.
having
Let me finish
go
this,
ahead.
because this is funny. What she would do is like an hour after, or an hour or two later, she'd come and sit between your legs after you got onto her, and all of a sudden you hear. And she'd get up and walk off. And as she was turning from where our couch was, turning to go to like another room, she'd look at you, give you that pit bull grin that only they can give you. And like it's like she was saying to you, "Payback's a bitch, ain't it?" I
Yeah.
love that dog. I miss her
That's
so.
awesome.
But her name was Sadie, and I missed her. I miss her. I would never have picked her breed.
But you're glad you had her.
Yeah, and I will fight for her breed as long as I live now.
Yeah.
Because when we were worried when my niece came and lived with us, we were okay. We got a 4-year-old coming to live with us. How is Sadie, she was like 8 or 9 at the time? How was she going to react? They were perfect together. I go out in the living room one Saturday morning. My niece is using the dog as a pillow, and the dog is just laying there.
No.
Yeah.
And she
They're
was
good with kids.
well. You know how in Peter Pan they had Nana, the big Saint Bernard in the Disney movies. Do you realize most likely if that was a real scenario, it would have been a pit bull?
Yeah.
Because they were called nanny dogs. But the term pit bull comes from the fact that these dogs were also, in Victorian England, they would have a big pit, and they'd have a bear chained up, declawed on one side, and they'd throw these dogs into the pit, and they'd place bets on the fights. Queen Victoria was known to go to these fights.
Oh, wow.
That's why they're called.
I'm going to have to take off, but thanks for the invite, and it was a very interesting
Thanks
discussion.
for being here.
Happy
Have a
to
good
come another
night.
time.
Yeah,
And, have a
definitely,
great day.
man. Thank you so much for coming, and
Later, man.
it was great talking
Not
with
at
you.
all.
All right, later, me.
Really.
Cheers.
Yep. I'm
I
actually
can
gonna
tell you
have to
from
go
having
and
Are
just
you
one
going
sec.
to?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go too. Just want to say thanks to everybody. Thanks to Koolfrogg for hosting the panel tonight, and I think it was some really good stuff, and hope everybody else got a lot out of it. Please stop by, subscribe, come to Discord. I got the Rumble thing going on, and we'll be streaming tomorrow before Madcore. I believe he is doing his pickup from last week, the sovereign citizen, free man on the land topic. So we're gonna meet. I'll do my stream earlier, and then we'll just go on over to his after that. So please stop by. We're gonna do Yuri Part 3 and talk about some new stuff and have a good time. So, but thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good night.
Hey, reality.
There.
Good night,
Bye.
Winning.
Night.
But my vet said she gets more nervous around like Chihuahuas and Jack Russell Terriers. She's been bitten more by them than she would pit bulls or Rottweilers. There was one morning, one Sunday morning, and this was a few days after my dad had stomach surgery. They were out walking our dog before church, and they see one of our neighbors, I think it was a husky, out. So my dad does the neighborly thing, knocks on the door, says, "Hey, dog's outside." Well, they had a little Jack Russell Terrier who was a mean little shit. He bolts between my dad's legs and just comes straight 100 yards from their house to our house. My mom in the driveway with our dog, with Sadie. My mom puts the rope around her put the leash around her, to give her some pull, because Sadie's pretty strong. Has her sit between the legs, and the Jack Russell just latches onto Sadie's neck, and she just looks up at my mom like,
"What are you doing?
Like, really? Can I eat this thing now?" And she starts screaming, "Get over here!" to my dad. And my dad staples in his stomach, comes running. My dad's a big guy. He runs and has to pry this little rat off our dog. This dog would go around attacking, biting people. He would go around getting fights with raccoons and other wild animals, go swimming in the lake. And I called the Humane Society about him to come get him. Nothing. They said, "We're not going to do anything." But they're going to come get my dog, put her in quarantine for a week for supposedly biting someone. The dumbass reaches between two dogs who are playing and gets supposedly bit. And then she gets kennel cough, and we have to deal with that shit. It pisses me off with how just the bad reputation, because it wasn't like in the 70s and the 80s, it was like Dobermans were the bad ones, and the 90s
German dogs.
Yeah.
German dogs.
Like every decade has its own bad dog.
But they're you can usually trace them back to being some type of German dog or some type of German dog relative. Yeah.
But I never had this dog. She was one of the greatest pets I ever had. I mean, just people would see her and run away scared.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I've got one that is the biggest baby in the world, and that's the one everybody's scared of. And then I've got another one who's smaller, and she's the one you would have to kind of watch. So
yeah, my brother a couple years ago moved back home from out of town, and they brought with them a little blue nose pit named Duke.
I like the name.
He at the time was like a puppy, 3-4 inches long, small little thing. So first time in town, they're visiting before they move home. They go to the park to walk him. And this, I think it was it wasn't a terrier. It was, I think, a retriever of some kind, grabs him by the neck and just starts tossing him around. Luckily, it didn't. He got a gash in his neck, but it was just the skin. It wasn't like any damage to the pipe or anything. But my brother was sitting there for all night with like a rag, checking the rags every couple of hours. And this small little thing had like a quarter the size of a thing of bread, was just sitting there crying.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a full grown dog and dumb as a sack of bricks.
Yeah, I don't take mine out because unless where I'm going, I know there won't be another dog or people, because they have when you have multiples, you can get that pack mentality going. But then plus we've got people that do not secure their dogs, and I just don't want to risk it. I was going to say too, if you've got a dog that's not listening, there's actually a really, really cool item that's under $20. It's called a Stop That Spray. It's literally compressed air. All I have to do with my grandkids is to let them carry. I've had the same can since my 10-year-old boxer was a puppy, because I've only had to do it that long. When the little grandkids are over, I can have them carry them, and the dogs will not jump on them.
Well, that was like with Sadie and the water bottle. After a while, you pick up any water bottle, empty or not. She'd be like, she'd stop what she's doing. She'd look around like, what am I doing? Am I doing something wrong? Like, and it just, because we couldn't spank her. It's
That
like,
and the dog whistles. Those are the two best
Real
training
quick,
things
Ish,
that I have.
the reason I'm so quiet is last night took so much out of me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a lot.
Ridiculous.
I missed it.
Pretty much slept through today for the most. Sweated majority of it out, and it just like pretty much took me to that point of just being done. I knew I had the show tonight, and thank God that somebody else had already done, the research or whatever to actually hold the majority of the first part of the show. Anybody else that actually wants to jump in here, kind of let me know, whatever. Throw links to the Discord.
But my dad was sitting there watching that show that used to be on Animal Planet called Dog 101. It gives you like the breakdown of each breed, and it did Sadie's breed, and it said the average lifespan was like between 12 and 13 years. At this time, she was like 4 or 5, and my dad looks down at her and says, "You mean I got that much longer to deal with you?" And she gives, once again, that little pit bull grin. Mm-hmm. And it's like she's saying, yeah, aren't you lucky that I'm going to be around that long? And she lasted about 12, 13 years. Her hips went out. And
yeah.
And that day sucked.
Yeah, it's crazy because
Puppy!
Aww.
Is this the baby? Shut up.
Hi, baby. She's like, I don't want to talk to people in the box.
She's fine, Jessica.
She's like, I don't know about this box.
To Elephant, or however you say her username.
Aww. Oh, she just went. Hi, baby.
He wants to go play.
Yeah. Oh, cute. Cute.
Yeah, I'm not ready for a dog anytime soon. Another one.
Yeah. Well, we had 2, and then a friend of mine needed a place for a puppy, so I took it, and another friend of mine needed a place for a puppy, so that's how I got the 2 younger ones. But I think naming him Loki was probably like my first mistake, because he is kind of like that last kid you've got. He's kind of, I don't care what it is. He was trying to get a blanket out the dog door the other day. So everything, if you can't find something, chances are it's outside in the yard. Didn't bury it. He just takes it outside. So.
Well, with Sadie, it was, if you can't find a sock, look in her mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I had growing up when I was in middle school, we had like I said, Rottweiler Golden Retriever. She got to be about 120 pounds. Her name was Daisy. My brother's girlfriend named her. But my brother comes home with this little ball of golden fur. Tells my mom's like, where'd she come from? Oh, I found her on the side of the road. She's a Rottweiler Golden Retriever mix. Mom's like, how do you know? Oh, well, the vet told us. No. Yeah. So about 6 months later, we just gotten her fixed. I mean, she still had the staples in her stomach. Mom's in the front yard playing with her, and this guy rides his bike down the road. Hey, that's my dog. And we're like, oh, Mom's thinking, oh, shit, we got to give her back now. No, I gave her to, he had given her to my brother.
Oh, wow.
His dog had a litter, and my mom asked me, why did you pick a girl? Well, she just came out of the house, sat down, and stared at me.
Yeah.
So she chose him, is what we said. But she was about maybe 8 or 9 years old, and then she got throat cancer. And big old knot on the side. Like when she tried to bark, it sounded like she'd been smoking like 10 packs a day.
Yeah.
And she couldn't eat. She could barely drink. The vet said, I could take it out, but there's a 99% chance it'll come back.
And there's a point where it's just not
feasible.
Well, I mean, they can't rationalize why they feel like they feel. So it's terrible. But sometimes you've got to do what's best for them, not you.
What's up, Victor?
But
Hey, Victor.
we knew if someone came to our door and knocked, we all knew we could say, "Hey, come in," because the dog it was someone who knew us and knew Daisy and would It's like when I went for Key Club in my freshman year, and for initiations, they woke me up at like 2 a.m. These girls in the club came and got me for school, and they dressed me up in a crazy outfit. And my mom told me later that when she went back to bed, night, Alan.
Good night, Alan. Sleep all day.
My dad rolls over. He's like, "Some watchdog we got," because she was letting strangers come up. She was a good dog.
Oh no. Mine, if somebody or a coyote was on the porch, because they do come on the porch quite a bit. If they hear the door, until I go downstairs and clap my hands, they will go crazy. And when I clap my hands, they'll stop and they'll sit down and look at me like, "What do you want me to do next?" But it's loud. You can imagine 4 of them. It's pretty interesting. So they're not like a lot of dogs. So like, "Oh, you're coming in the house? Give me a cookie and we're good." But that's because there's 4 of them. If there's just 1 or 2, they would, but because there's 4, yeah.
My Saint Bernard, she's old now, but when she was younger, and my little brother, he was about 5 or 6 at the time, and he was roughhousing a little bit with one of the neighbor boys, and the neighbor boy like pushed him over and was kind of like standing over top of him, and my Saint Bernard, she was not happy about it at all. She was making this growl like, "I will rip your freaking head off."
Yeah.
And me and my dad, we had to like grab her, be like, "No, it's okay." We had to like put her inside, but she was ready to protect that boy. That's for sure.
Well, me and my mom, we took Sadie to obedience school, and the instructor looks at my mom and says, "Ma'am, you're a woman. She's a woman. You are going to have to knock the crap out of her and show dominance." And this lady with a little like beagle looks at him like, "Oh, am I going to have to do that?" He says, "Ma'am, you will scar your dog for life if you do that."
Yeah.
But
my beagle is so skittish. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that if more so than my dad and brother, because they weren't around her as much. And we never had to find this out, thankfully. But if someone were to come at me and my mom, Sadie would have been all over their asses.
Oh, I bet.
But she's like when people came, we'd have to put her in the back room. We have a big den in our house. When someone was over, we'd have to shut the doors to the den because if Sadie would be jumping all over them, licking them, and she'd scratch you more than anything else, and she'd hit you with her tail. Now,
if you hear them playing, people think they're tearing each other up, and they're not. But people will think that. But the 2 older girls got into it over a marshmallow once, over a toasted marshmallow because they won't eat them if they're not toasted, and they've gotten into it one other time, and they're 11 and 10, so that's not too bad. But we learned a long time ago, if they get into it, don't get excited. Just get them apart, make them calm down, and then they'll be fine. But yeah, they were fighting over a marshmallow.
Hey, Mr. Muller.
Don't ever drop a marshmallow around here if it's a roasted one.
Oh, yeah, that was the way with my mom.
Welcome, Michael Malloy.
She used to babysit for this family, and they had like I can't remember what they had. But
Good night, talking trash and truth.
Oh, JC.
See you next time.
How are you, JC? Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I come in.
My mom, she worked at a daycare, but she would also babysit this one of the little girls for her parents. And at daycare, she'd take a bite of her food, drop it off onto the floor. Take a bite of food, drop it on the floor. My mom finally looked at her and says, "Girl, Bo and Bennett are not here to clean up for you." That was her dog's name. "You better stop doing that." And because when my mom would babysit her at home, that's what she would do. She'd Take a bite of food, drop a little bit on the floor. Take a bite of food, drop a
What's
little bit.
Mr. Malloy up to?
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Victor R. Thank you for coming in here, buddy. He's my buddy, man.
I like Victor. Victor's good stuff.
Victor R.
JC wants you to blow the whistle, Mr. Malloy.
Who?
JC.
Who's JC?
Blow the whistle. Whoop whoop.
You guys don't want to hear it now, do you?
I want to.
It's up to Frog.
I guess.
Okay, I'll blow it. I'll blow it. You ready? Cover your ears because kind of.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna turn you down.
Yeah, turn me down.
The wiener whistle. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Toy Box Brain says, "Oh no, God damn it, no." He said, "He's like,
just please don't do that."
Uh-oh.
Mad Core says no.
No. Okay, I won't. Mad Core.
No. Maybe they should like do a super chat.
He's the main guy.
Yeah.
Maybe they should do like a super chat auction to see if you're blowing it or not.
I won't do it.
And that's the thing is usually he blows the whistle when people actually throw him a super chat.
Okay.
That's his deal. So
I'm not gonna do it.
Really want him to blow that whistle for us. Hit up that
Yeah.
buy me a coffee /Koolfrogg. Tip me, and I'll get him to blow the whistle.
Madcore said no.
Or
says no.
tip him.
He's the
Mad
main
Core
man.
show.
Mad Core, I blame you.
Yeah. Or tip if you don't want him to blow the whistle.
Yes. We'll decide who gives the bigger tip.
JC, man, I'm
Don't
mad
be,
now.
JC, don't be mad at Madcore. It's not his fault. It's my fault. He says no.
I had a chance to see the Oscar
Well, that's
Mayer
basically, you know,
Wienermobile
give
ones
us
when
a
I was a
reason
kid,
to do it.
and it didn't show
We'll
up.
make it happen.
I was so bummed out. I wanted to see the Wienermobile.
Jeez.
It didn't show up.
It's just a bloody freaking little whistle. It's not big.
Like it's not big.
Well, I didn't say no, but actually, I gotta head out.
Victor R. Shout out. Who's heading out?
A nerd.
Nerd.
Thanks for joining us,
later.
nerd.
Appreciate it. Have fun.
Good
Bye.
night,
Have a
nerd.
good night.
Good night.
Good night, nerd.
Good night, nerd. Nerd is the owner.
Yeah, I'll be heading out here relatively soon as well. Not quite yet, but I'm half asleep right now.
I was gonna say I
We
think
just
you're-
got Mr. Malone here. What are you talking about?
Shout out to Victor R. Can you hear Victor R. That's not my stream, mate. Do what you want. It's cool, Mick. All right, Matt Core, mofo. He said I
Mad
can
Core,
do
you should come on the stream, mate.
Well,
Yeah, mate. Come on the stream.
he said he was going to.
Yeah,
I
I know.
really don't know why it's taking him so
Looking
long.
for Mad Core's stream, and I wouldn't have met you guys. Thank you, Mad Core.
Oh yeah, shout out to Mad Core.
Victor, I would totally take super chats if I could actually do that. I'm not at the 1,000 subscribers quite
Yeah.
yet, and that's why I'm like PayPal
You
or
gotta-
buymeacoffee.com/Koolfrogg. One of those two links. That's the easiest way to hit, tip me up, whatever. And Susan doesn't get any of that because we don't care what Susan thinks. Fuck you, Susan.
Nobody cares about Susan. Yeah, F you, Susan.
Finally, I can
I
unmute
agree.
myself. Them damn kids.
Do I got Zell? I don't have it set up.
Do you have a
Yeah,
Cash App,
I
Mad Core?
think
That's the only thing I'm
on
not
buy you a
seeing.
coffee,
Or
you
Koolfrogg,
can
sorry.
set it up with a card.
What'd
Not
you just
PayPal.
call
And
them?
that's
Hello,
the thing
Heidi.
is you set it up with your bank.
Yeah.
Right. So I
How
said
are you,
don't have
Heidi?
it set
Good
up.
to see you.
I don't have PayPal or coffee thingy.
Does Buy Me a Coffee let you just put a debit card straight in, or do you have to link like a PayPal or something?
No, you can do a straight debit card.
YouTube
Okay.
takes 30%.
You can either do a card or you can do Google Pay. I'm on it right now.
Okay.
Just saying.
There you
I,
go. There you go.
I got banned off of PayPal a while back.
What
There
did
she
you
goes,
do?
Hello, JC.
I
Hello,
told
Star.
the story already. I don't want to tell it again.
Yeah, and you don't have to sign up for an account
Say
to do
it.
that either, by the way. So you can send him a copy with just one-time enter of your credit card.
Hello, Ish.
Okay.
So
The other one. Hello, Tish.
yeah, it's straight in. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
That's good to
Good,
hear.
good.
Awesome.
Here's this.
Okay, is everybody ready for the wiener whistle? Because Matt Core gave me the A. Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's
Fine,
go.
I'll take my headphones out so you can do
Here
it.
we go. Plug your ears up.
Okay.
Watch those ears.
Here we go. Victor R., this is dedicated to you, buddy. You're my bud. Ish, hello. JC, hello.
Love it.
All right. That's it.
I love it.
At first, it kind of sounded like a radar in an old submarine movie. It's kind of cool.
Kim, hello. Needs an Irish tin whistle. I don't know what that is, Kim.
Ooh.
We lost 3 viewers.
One of the longer
during
ones.
Did you really lose 3? I'm sorry for the wiener whistle.
It's okay. It happened.
I'll make it up to
I'm sure they'll come back.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad.
JC said that's Mr. Malloy's mating call.
Yeah, the tin whistle is the longer whistles. It almost looks like the old recorders, but they're made out of tin and they're skinnier than those.
Debbie M says, okay, sound back on. Madcore, thanks for letting me do, and thanks for letting me do Koolfrogg as well. Anyway, stick a fork in me. I'm done, man.
No, I'm finished. Yeah, it did. It sounded like an old submarine, where it starts out that exaggerated beeping noise. So it's kind of funny. I see that thing every now and then too in Nashville, the actual vehicle. Occasionally
You're
downtown.
Nashville?
I am.
Oh, the
about,
Wienerbill?
Yeah,
The
I see it all the
Wienermobile?
time. There's also a
Oh, yeah.
Ghostbusters car that somebody's done just exactly like it.
Koolfrogg
And,
Victor said he did it.
I see that. Thank you, Victor. Thank you for
And
the
a
10
Herbie
spot.
car.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Victor paid me 10. Thank you so much, dude. That's cool.
Victor.
Because you did that, I'm going to actually convince Mr. Malloy to blow that whistle one more time.
Again?
Let's do it.
Did
Oh,
Victor
yeah.
R donate to you? To the cause?
Mhm.
Victor R, you're a stand-up guy, man. You want me to do it again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here we go.
Watch your ears.
Plug your ears, please. It's
Yeah.
loud. Let's do it, Victor R says. Uh-oh. Victor R, you're my buddy, man. Thick and thin. Toy box, I'm ready to slit my throat, Malloy. Just blow that Hoover damn whistle. All right, man. Oh, I better change whistles. It's getting wet.
Started out as
I'm not
Here Comes
finished
the
yet.
Bride.
This one.
He's got more than one whistle. That's awesome.
Yeah. See, it's Here Comes the Bride.
Oh, guess who's watching us? Joseph Smith. Oh, no. I'm trying to do Here Comes a Bride,
Joseph
all dressed
Smith.
in pink.
Good to see you.
Open the window and let out the stink. I'm trying to do that one. lost 10 viewers as Madcore. Oh no. I'm stopped. Stick a fork.
No, I think people are just getting kind of tired.
No, we've been going for about 3 hours.
I don't think it's you. Yeah, it's
we're on the back
How's
side.
your ears? My ears are blown out. Sorry about that.
Yep, they're all blown up. We're all good now.
And you lost 10. 10
Short Order Cook said they thought that the smoke alarm was going
Like
off.
I said, we've been going for about 3 hours now. So as far as that goes, we spoke about the reason why everybody was originally here. We went through the whole shadow banning stuff or whatever. We were just kind of on the outside of let's just talk about whatever randomness. And
Now we chilling.
right now we're
Toy
just kind of,
Toy Box Brain said his ears are fine, Mr. Malloy. Good to hear. Toy Box Brain.
Toy boat brain.
Hey Hopper says all the dogs in
Toy
the neighborhood are
box
howling now.
hero.
Yeah, I love that song. Toy Box Hero. Dun, 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 dun.
That's funny.
Malloy, your singing's it's too good. It's too close to the original. It's gonna get us banned off YouTube.
Well, I hope
yeah, right.
I think we're okay right now.
that wouldn't be cool, would it?
We're like well over the
No,
2
it's
hour
okay.
mark, so I think we're okay.
Heidi, oh Christmas tree. Now I hear the bride song. Yes.
Yeah.
Here comes the bride.
Oh, wow.
Dressed in pink. Open the window.
Thank you, JC, for the 20. That's gonna totally help out a lot. Thank you so much.
Open the window.
Did
Yeah.
that help you with Victor R? Did that help? How did he put the money in it? To the coffee thing?
Mm-hmm.
The tip jar. Is it a coffee or tip?
Joseph
It's
Smith
coffee,
says
yeah.
Malloy also sings in Spanish.
Oh, I do. You want to hear? You ready?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Okay. Thank you. Once on America, oh, she's a one ton America. One ton America. Oh, she's a one ton mierda. One ton muerto. Oh, she's a one ton mierda. One ton mierda. Oh, she's a one ton tomato. One ton tomato. Yes, sir. Oh, she's a one ton tomato. One ton tomato. Oh, she's a one ton tomato. One ton tomato. Oh, she's a one ton tomato. One ton tomato.
It's just
And
not
just
Madcore,
stick a
mofo.
fork in me, I'm gone. One ton mierda. Oh, she's a one ton. Stick a fork in me. Hello, Madcore, my buddy. What's up, Madcore?
What's going on, guys? What's happening?
What's up, Madcore?
Nah. Zoe just goes, is he drunk?
Nope.
I'm as sober as a paper.
This is perfect framing, and I'm half tempted to turn my camera on just to mess with it.
I'm just I'm streaming at the moment, but you guys can't see it because it's unlisted. Just doing some testing out. Doing some testing.
So, I think Outpost was saying that your stream tomorrow, if you do it, is going to be like a round 2 of the Sovereign Citizens.
Yeah. So 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
10:30 a.m. Australian. Yep. There's a
early.
So look out for the links for the invite. Apparently, people were saying today's stream we're going to carry some. It was doing a bit of loading time, like you call it buffering.
I
So
didn't see
I
that.
need to look into that if it was the software doing it. There can't be.
I have the
my internet-
tendency to watch the stream as we're actually doing it, so I can actually see chat, and I didn't see any buffer.
It was fine, yeah, because I've got like fucking fast internet. And I've got the fastest you can get. I pay $130 a month for it. So fucking
Wow.
Just short of running an optic straight to your house.
pretty much.
Good idea,
I've got
actually.
fiber to the house. So
Oh, you have fiber
But,
in your house?
yeah. I've got
Nice.
one gigabit download and 500 megabyte upload.
Mr. Malloy, they're wanting to see your
Nice.
Trump wig.
I know I'm gonna go get it right now.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's you're right. A lot of things have been buffering today.
I found
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a weird day.
We tried playing
Yeah.
that video earlier, and it just
Just
nonstop
wouldn't
buffering.
cooperate.
Even when I cut it all the way down, didn't matter.
encore.
What did you cut it down to? Like 720 or even lower?
I had it lower than I had it down to the 360, if I'm not mistaken.
Just
And
doing
it's
a brain
still,
develop.
and it's still buffered. Oh, nice.
That wig looks really good, actually.
Mr. Malloy, if he actually had hair, just imagine
my
all the
gosh.
girls and what they
Wow.
would actually.
That is definitely a Trump wig.
Nope, stay right
Thank-
there.
It's gonna be huge. Gonna build a wall around Mexico. Mexico's gonna have to pay for it. I can't help it.
I just noticed-
Utah,
I love it.
wall around- oh, forget my beard. Trump doesn't wear a beard. But we're gonna build a wall around Utah, and Utah's gonna have to pay for it. Gonna build a wall around Washington D.C. and Florida will have to pay for that. Get away from the FBI. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be real huge.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge, real huge. How does Joe Smith know about
JC
my-
says, say China. China.
China.
All day,
China-
all day long, say China.
China's gonna have to pay for everything. So China will. Madcore, you're awesome guy. We love you, man. Mate, you're the
thanks so much.
best. We're
Mate,
gonna
Mike.
move Australia just for you. Australia won't have to
Fucking
pay
buffering again.
it. We'll have to pay Australia for all of Madcore because he's a great guy. We love you, Madcore.
Sure,
Good
I'm a great
job.
guy. Or everyone's just scared of me, apparently.
Oh, I don't want to scare you.
Who's scared of you?
Elephant says
Who's scared of you,
Them.
Madcore?
Farron does a good
I want to
Trump
know.
voice. Yeah.
Them.
I didn't mean to
Them,
scare
the
you.
others,
Them.
the others.
Them. The ones we don't speak of.
We're gonna build a wall around Mar-a-Lago, and nobody, not even the FBI, can get into it.
Madcore for Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Madcore for Prime Minister, yes.
Yes.
I'd
I
support
vote
that.
that.
Sure.
Let's do it.
I
Sounds
vote,
good
I
to me.
vote that.
You fix his hat. It says "Make Australia Great Again."
You gotta get elected to the parliament and then just convince them to vote you prime minister. It doesn't seem that hard.
I don't know. Cost a lot of money.
You just need a few $1 million, no problem.
Even at Trump Towers, that's where some of the nukes are gonna go.
I would not be surprised.
They actually tested a Minuteman III missile. Well, technically yesterday, but on Friday, out of California, they blasted it off and then crashed it into the ocean.
Oh wow.
Thank you, Mims.
Yeah, they did 2 missile tests in 2 weeks because the one in that was supposed to be in early August got pushed back because of the whole Russia invasion thing. So the point of the missile test is really just to prove that they still work and be like, yeah,
that they have them.
China, Russia, we still have these things. Don't forget about it.
Fuck.
Ellie Font says, Mr. Trump, how do you feel about the FBI as the FBI was raiding your wife's panty drawers?
I saw one of the FBI just sniffing those panties. It drove me crazy.
I wouldn't doubt it, Hopper. I mean, when you actually do some of the digging into
Yeah.
what King Charles is actually about, that he would actually sell Australia to China.
Yeah, might.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I didn't mean to scare
Australia
Mad
won't
Core. I
rebel.
apologize, Mad
They'll
Core
just
for
roll
scaring.
over, down with the monarchy.
You're an all right dude, man.
Wait a second.
Love you. Cool. Where'd Victor R go, man? He left. He didn't see it, the whole thing. Oh well. It's cool.
What's your head?
All right, guys, I'm hitting about the. Yeah. I'm hitting about something. Yeah.
I feel it.
I went to bed about 2 or 3 yesterday and got up at 5, so I'm kind of like, I don't even know what day it is. So yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day or morning, wherever you are. It's morning here now.
Yeah.
Morning.
Oh, Ish, it's complete. She says, "No, King Charles, no." Yep, it is
It's
King
done.
Charles. It's done.
If I were him, though, I'm sorry, I'd say hard pass. It's like, no. He said he's going to do it for the rest of his life, but I'm thinking, I wouldn't want to do that at that age.
He is in his 70s already.
Yeah, in
So
his late
hopefully he's not
70s.
around for too long.
Yeah, I was kind of
Well-
sitting here like, who's gonna croak first, his mom or him?
Well,
Yeah, right.
everybody says that about my grandmother. I think she's going to outlive us all. She's 104. About to
Oh
turn
wow.
105. She'll turn 105 at the end of this month. And she just now kind of went downhill after a stroke she had in February. But until then, she was still driving. Only to church and to get her hair done, but she was still driving.
No, she
So-
gotta get her hair done.
Gotta get her hair done twice a week and her nails. Her nails and her
That's
hair
awesome.
twice a week. So we
You know,
just
I'm with Toybox on that one. It was really nice to have you around. Anytime
Cool.
you actually want to come up, you just let me know. Whatever.
absolutely.
know how
It
to
was a
get a hold of you.
pleasure. I learned a lot. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks, guys.
Night,
See ya.
Dad.
You as well.
Bye.
Later.
Good night, Tid.
Later.
Night.
And then there were Nope, there's
So-
5. I can't count, apparently. Whoops.
Yeah. Me and 4 others. That being said, I think we should just actually shut down shop. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
up to you.
I'm
Got anything you
already-
want to say? Anything you want to share?
I was just gonna ask Madcore.
I might be going live soon with the gaming. With just as a gaming stream. If anyone's still up or
Nice.
bored.
Yet tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
I was just gonna ask you, Madcore, if you're staying up to watch the quali tonight, or if you're gonna go to bed.
I'll be up. My mate will be coming around soon. We watch it
Nice.
every Saturday night, and I'll stay up tomorrow night and watch the race. Yeah. I'll be up. I'll be on.
Awesome.
Oh, actually, I might stream it on Discord. Actually, yeah. Might do that.
Nice.
F1's in about
Night, everyone.
4 hours on Discord. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Jess, anything you want to say?
No.
Okay. Mr. Malay, anything you want to?
Yes. Thank you very much for having me on. I love Madcore. I love you, Jessica. I love you, Koolfrogg.
Absolutely.
We love
brother.
you too. Okay, fine. Since he said that, I'm just gonna say I love you all.
I love you all.
Everyone.
God bless you all.
Making sure you check out everyone's channels. Hit that subscribe button. all
If you
that good
haven't
jazz.
caught just swamping chat all night with all these channels for all of us, hit those links up. Subscribe to everybody. Costs you absolutely nothing to do so.
I'm literally sweating from all the hard work I've done tonight.
It's free, guys.
Good night.
Also,
Hold on,
smash that like button.
Before you go, hold on. I'll drop a link to the stream. It's unlisted at the moment, but I'll make it available. Come on, get into this freaking Koolfrogg stream. Here's a link to the stream that's up at the moment.
There you go. Everybody check out that link. All right.
Later all.
Okay. Later, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.